Yeah, fun times here this evening at Performance Center, listening in on some phone calls. They were good.
This is we have an all access show earlier before this.
Yeah.
Pretty
That one was worth the money right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people wouldn't believe the stuff that gets said. People call here. It's amazing. That's all I can say. I mean, it's just amazing. You almost have to be like a borderline priest. You can't say half the things because everybody would want to kill everybody. It's terrible.
You're right about that. Heard a lot of names earlier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I let you a little glimpse in on it. That's terrible. They just
right.
Amazing.
Good times here at Performance Center Racing Warehouse. I mean, you get those tire temps right, boys, and you're going to the front. That's all I'm telling you.
Wow. Oh my God.
Wow. And I know you guys just heard Corey. Corey Latham. He's
back
here again.
He made car.
And listen.
The motor beside I-40. He said. He said some dude stopped, helped him. They changed the complete motor and trans right there on I-40.
Even more impressive, he made it to a race.
I know he did.
Yeah.
So
car didn't break down. It was a nice move.
That was great.
Nice.
Rolling in here with some Arby's.
He's now officially to as many races for the year as I am for this past weekend. So.
Well, see, I'm thankful here because he's probably.
Luckily didn't go to races for like 3 years. Now he's going to brag, and all of a sudden now he goes to races all the time.
Hey, man,
you know?
I'm going to races.
Hey, 24 hours, 3 racetracks, 3 states.
Yeah.
I mean,
Performance Center paying a hell of a gas bill there, ain't they?
If I could get a dime out of Performance Center,
you ain't getting no money
something.
from me, pal. I did my time, sucker. Somebody else. Oh no, not Performance Center. No pay from Performance Center.
Don't worry, we'll rape him later. Yeah. And we've also got superstar. Thomas Beane sitting in over here. He's not our guest tonight. He's just a special guest host.
He's like a growth.
Yeah.
Not really a guest.
They closed at 5 and he's still here.
That's exactly what happened.
If the lights aren't turned off, I'm going to sit in here.
After Zach and all of them left, he was still sitting here, and Roger said, "Oh, you staying for the show?" Well, yeah. That's the way that went.
Guess you're on.
And last week, he left us. He was here, and he left us, turned us down for a bloomin' onion.
Yep, left. Yeah.
I mean, they got those free tonight, too. I don't know what happened.
I should have went, but I figured I might as well stay.
No dancing partner.
Dang.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody asked me to go.
Well, the only bad thing about tonight.
You to go? I mean,
I don't know.
I love you, but God, what are we going to do? Honestly,
The only bad thing about tonight is we have nothing to talk about because there's nothing going on in racing.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, it's not like we had a big crash fest at Hickory this past weekend. Oh, wait, we did.
Yeah.
It's not like we didn't have a little post-race skirmish
half the
at
cars
Anderson.
are here.
Yeah, they are. That's Roger. He puts a couple of cars out there just to wreck other cars that belong to him.
I'm starting to wonder. Smart businessman.
Yeah,
he learned from Tom. Okay.
Whoa.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
No.
Wow.
I mean,
Tom is my friend. I don't know.
Tom's a smart businessman.
He's a good guy.
He is.
That's all I can tell you for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot going on around the racing world. Anderson Motor Speedway opened up on Friday night. Kingsport opened up on Saturday. East Carolina opened up on Saturday. Greenville Pickens had their first combined limited and late model show on Saturday. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a few minutes.
Sorry.
Southern National had the PRA tours over there. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
A lot going on. Hickory, Crash Fest, and the late model stock. Jared Fryer tells us a few weeks ago that late model stocks don't tear up cars like the super late models do, and by God, they went out and proved him wrong.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, then the supers went out and tried to kill each other too. So
Right. Not nearly as bad as the late model stock. Of course, there wasn't but half as many of them, so or a little more. But
we're too busy getting Bubba the win.
Yeah, we'll talk to Chris Regal about that coming up later on. That's an interesting topic. Dale Jr. calling the call between with Bubba Pollard got spun there. He called it ridiculous rules. That's what he said on Twitter about what happened. Of course, Corey managed to run really fast across the racetrack during a red flag and missed that part, so he doesn't know what we're talking about.
David Gillen looked at me. He said, "Can we leave now?" I said, "Great idea." It was freezing, man. God, it was cold.
It was cold.
Yeah, and those two guys were about to fight on the track. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Batten and
Oh yeah.
Pope.
And Pope. Yep. Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me switch the thing over here on the video here. I'm a little behind. Doc over here, he's waiting on me, man. He's primed and ready for the news tonight for the first time ever.
What?
So
This ought to be good.
I mean, can you imagine how many times he's going to screw this up since he's ready this time?
He's got a JCPenney catalog where the stuff over there.
It looks like the Sears Christmas catalog.
Right. I mean,
I thought that was a Playboy magazine. I wasn't sure what it was over here. He's not going to appreciate that one, but I do.
Neither will his church group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're listening
Clean
tonight.
it up a little, will you, Langley?
We'll have to put you on our prayer list.
Please do. Pray that they keep the blue lights out from behind my car.
Bless his heart.
That's the main thing I need after all the travel.
Did you
this
get it
past
again?
Weekend.
You got out
What
of
happened?
I got out of it
Again. You got out of it
You
again.
got pulled again?
Yep.
So what do you
You
think?
get pulled more in 1 year than I've had in my entire life.
I had 27 tickets in 1 year.
Whoa.
That I got, and I got out of most of them beforehand, but I got 27 of them that I did get.
At some point, you just say it's not bad luck. It's
How
just
do you
kind of
get
stupid.
insurance?
You know, I mean, it's not bad luck. It's just what a dumbass.
I didn't say it was bad luck. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
Do you get insurance?
Insurance?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
figure. That's what I thought.
What is that?
Yeah.
I'm sure Kim.
Flo runs
knows
when she
that
sees
stuff.
Langley.
Yeah. Insurance. I don't know anything
Yeah, I
about it.
figured you wouldn't.
I had insurance on the racetrack when
Oh,
I had
that's
it.
Kim. Yeah, I'm sure. Right.
I mean, I don't know. And I do know some people that run races without that. So
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
no, not a good plan at all. Thomas Beane over here being real quiet, which we did learn from the little pre-show there.
He's scandalous.
That he's just waiting for his time to just jab one in there.
He did have a couple early in the pre-show, but here's the problem. A lot of time, Thomas has really good things off air.
Yeah,
We've learned
and then he
this.
pusses out
Right,
on
and
air.
then on air, it's time where he's going to be Hulk Hogan,
right,
and then he doesn't.
right.
He
As
just-
soon as I walk in the door, he gets over 9 chairs here and he takes my damn chair.
Right.
There's 8,000 chairs and
What
he just,
happened
I'm
to your
just
chair?
sitting
I
here.
gave you the chair back and you
Well, that's
threw
too-
it off, man. That's horrible.
That's the most comfortable chair here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just sit back 19 feet.
Well,
from
you
this
do,
thing.
you do,
Yeah.
and you sit up too. So
I was told in the pregame. I was told that pregame. We're pregaming here. Zach ain't here. We ain't pregaming on this one.
Right.
Doc's over here about to die.
Yeah.
No,
he's
Jonesing
jonesing
to
to
get
get
the
I'm
news.
good.
He's
Go
ready
ahead,
to go.
go ahead.
See, you
I'm
guys
good.
told me, man, you can't
Look
be
how
saying
ready
that
he's
kind
getting.
of stuff on the radio. On this, you're like, man, that's way too bad. You can't be saying that.
And then the things we do tell you, you can say, you go, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing
No,
it.
no, 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 I'm not gonna do it.
Off air, I was
I
going to
gave
do
you
it.
the inside. I wanted you to be the source. You could say,
Oh, my
man,
God.
I know this. I've
it's
I've
okay.
got down to the source right here, and I know what I'm saying here.
Thomas, if me and Langley told us stuff that we know, people's careers would be over a long time
Well,
ago.
Garrett, if we just told a little bit more about the phone calls that Roger had earlier, people's lives would be ruined. Okay?
People's lives would be ruined.
Starting with Roger. Oh man, I'm telling
boy.
you, it's been a good time already this evening. Got here early for the show. Of course, Corey just arrived, so he missed out on all that goodness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he's got a
Heard
job.
about I heard about it.
yeah, gets exciting times. I'm trying to see how long I can wait to turn Doc loose, just because he's all
good.
jonesed up and
He's
ready to go.
shooting
I'm
through the
good.
foam thing.
He looks
on
like a
the
dog
microphone.
standing at the back door trying to piss on his leg, you know. Let me out. Please, God, let me out.
Oh man, let's not mention dogs and needing to go out because that was a bad day today. Anyways, we'll turn it over to Doc on that note.
Race 22 Race 22 Radio.
And as he says, some of the tracks did get started this past weekend, March 23rd, race day. East Carolina Motor Speedway winner Lewis White. Anderson Motor Speedway, Ashton Higgins was your winner. A little bit of controversy there. We'll get the guys to talk about later. Got a couple of sound bites we'll get into. Greenville Pickens Speedway with that combination. Austin, is it Samaro? I can't even do it. Samaro. Thank you,
Yep.
sir.
There's the first one.
Yeah, thanks. You said last year there was two classes,
Right.
limiteds and late models.
Right.
All right. How many did they average in late model?
I believe Anthony told me 15 in the
15.
limiteds,
In limited. And how many in late model?
and then 7, I believe, in the late.
So the math would tell me how many cars should they have?
Well, you're always going to lose a couple, but you should be somewhere near 20, and they didn't.
It didn't happen. Well, I'm disappointed in that. So hopefully things will
Yeah,
work
that's
out
new.
better for those
It's new.
guys.
Let's give it.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
give it
right.
time.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
new.
That's kind of what I'm getting to there, Roger. Thank
Some
you, sir.
positivity here.
That's right.
That's all
So
we
yeah,
do.
That's it. Bring
we
joy.
hope it
Clouds
hope
and
it
dirt.
grows and goes from there, and hopefully we'll see more cars in the future. That's what we were hoping to see over this past weekend. Kingsport Motor Speedway also got to race on this past weekend. Crest Van Dyke was your winner. No surprise there. Did you see that former champion Chad Fincham was driving on the pace car or riding the pace car? One of the two.
I didn't see that until today on Facebook. So
Yeah. So he was having a good time going back to his home stomping grounds to check out some racing. Southern National Motorsports Park, PRA Tours. The Southern Modified Racing Series winner was Jeremy Gerstner. 602 Super Limited, Jacob Creed. 602 Modified, Bobby Mismer Jr. Southeast Limited late model. Mac Little was on a winning spree. He won at Caraway, that new class. And then this Southeast Limited late model at Mac Little.
surprise.
Yeah.
Next event for the PRA Tour Series is Saturday, April 6th at the Caraway Speedway. So if you're in the area, be sure and check it out. The Tour Modifieds will be there, 602 Super Limiteds, and the 602 Modifieds will be there, plus some regular classes as well. That's Caraway Speedway, April 6th. Some more great reads on race22.com. You know, we talked about Brandon Willard, the flagman for the Cars Tour Series, did a great story. If you have not read that, you need to go to race22.com, check it out. The title is Willard Ready to Return After Scary Incident in Southern National, because it talked more than just about that incident. Talked about what this young man goes through just to get to the track, and how does he,
Right.
he participates in speed skating and things like that. And that's a pretty remarkable young man. He's got a lot to fight through just to be up there and be as animated as he is. Great story, by the way.
Oh, I mean, he was, and he was up on it on
Yeah.
the flag stand.
He fought
Saturday
through the
night.
pain.
Yeah, he was.
You never know he was in pain.
Right.
He won't show it. He won't say it. And I know he was really sore after the race, but, man, everybody's glad to see him up there.
Well, and I think one thing that made the story good, it wasn't necessarily that I wrote it. It was that he was so open.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that we're so tight. You know, I
Right.
consider him to
Right.
be family.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
All
I've
of us
been
here, yeah.
around since birth. though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I talked to Brandon for 30 minutes there. He told me all about everything. You know,
Yeah.
kid's got a great head on his shoulder.
Absolutely. He's got his dad and Pops. Everybody loves Pops.
Pops.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
be the same without all three of them there at
Absolutely.
any of the races. So another great read, the origins of the creation of late model stock cars. Check it out. Our good friend Craig Murto from Late Model Racer Magazine sent that to you, or was it a collaboration?
He's going to be doing some writing for us.
Oh,
so
cool.
He
That's
sent
awesome,
it to us.
man.
It was great, man. I'm telling you.
Known Craig for a
Craig's
long
awesome.
time, man.
Oh, yeah, Craig's
super
wonderful.
cool guy. So.
And those photos from David
pictures
Alio.
look
Yeah.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh my
Old
God.
Yeah.
school, yeah.
David Alley is the man.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but yeah, if you ever wonder where the late model stocks that we know today come from, where it all started, go and check that out. The origins, the creation of late model stock cars.
And he kind of talks about where they've gone now
Right.
in that story, and how he thinks they need a reset to fix it. And I totally agree with you.
And the reason why it was created, because
Same position we're in today.
Exactly.
For
So,
sure.
All right, now on to the Cars Tour race at the
Whoa,
Hickory Motor
wow.
Speedway.
Come on.
Before we get into that, I want to say Tyler Williams standing up in the box, not on pit
Yeah.
road, on the broadcast and the PA, did a absolute
100%.
wonderful job. He was a little hard on himself, I saw on his Facebook, social media, but I'm going to tell you, Mr. Williams, you did a fabulous job, and that's coming from the heart. I'm telling you, you did a great job.
My ears didn't bleed once.
Not one
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I was about to say.
One
yeah.
time. I agree.
But yeah, he did a great job filling in and did a fantastic job, man. That was fun to hear. He made it fun, that's for sure. The track was fast at Hickory last week with the weekly racing late model series smashing the track record. Same thing happened this past weekend with both series. The late model stock, golly, the top 22 cars smashed the old late model record. How about Bradley McCaskill using last week's track time to come to the Cars Tour and be fast? Man, I was so glad to see him show the speed that he did. The new record in qualifying, 14.735, and that's just almost 3.5-4 faster. Just shy of a half second faster than what the original.
They're definitely rolling for sure.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top 20 plus was,
Yeah, I think
I
that's
think-
2/10.
Yeah, I think it's about 2/10.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like
I mean,
a 90
I don't
to
know
70. I don't know what the last one was,
Yeah,
but it was like a 90, I think.
A 90?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 90. Barry ran a 90 the other year where they put
I got a
Crackville down.
15030 was on the website.
I think that's Car Store, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
for
saying.
the
Car
car
store.
store. Track.
Yeah,
the
car
track
store.
The track was a 79 before last week.
It's a 66
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's 66
Yeah.
now. I thought
That was on last week's show.
Yeah.
You would have known that
Yeah.
if you
You
weren't
had to went and get that
jamming this onion down your pie hole.
Oh,
Man,
that
Doc
was
got
mean.
you.
Never
But
gonna live
yeah.
that one down.
But yeah, that was a difference in those two. But on to the race. How about young Taylor Gray making that victory? Boy, what he was
PRW chassis, just make sure.
A
Just want
PRW
people know.
chassis. Just want to make
PRW
sure.
Chassis.
Yeah.
It's amazing. If a guy can win in that junk, he's doing
That's
something,
right.
buddy. I'm going to tell
Come
you.
on.
That's how you know he's
Even
a wheel
that,
man.
right?
He must have done something right because he was a rocket earlier, and everybody was saying, "Oh, he just burned his tires up." But he was right there at the end. He was strong at the end.
His crew thought he was burning his tires
Yeah.
out, too.
Yeah.
Were they fussing at him on the?
I don't know, but I
radio?
talked to one of them afterwards, and that's what they thought was going on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But Tommy Lemons, how about him coming out of the box? Good second place run. He was pretty strong at the end. They had to duel it out there at the end.
Well, I think he forgot to suck.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I'm just saying. He's
give
been
him some
sucking for a
props.
while. So
Yeah, that's good
I
to
mean,
see
once
him
Once he
have a
got to
great
the front,
run.
I thought he would. I thought he would outdo him.
And
Yeah.
Brody Pope, how about him in the
How about him?
Yeah. That was impressive.
in
it
the
was.
Lee Falk
You
Racing
know, when I was
development?
just
Yeah.
getting ready to say, you look back at it right
PRW
there,
car.
right?
Yeah.
3,
another one. He got to be a wheel man.
right, bam, right? These guys, huh?
Put them in something to run and win every damn race.
My,
doing
get
magic.
one of them Hitchcock cars, man.
hey. But think about that, right? Like Lee Falk had a ton of laps with that great kid last
Right.
year.
Yep.
Built that foundation with him, and I know Lee was a little disappointed with him. Moving on
Right.
with not getting to kind of play the long tail of that,
Right.
but. Lee Falk killing it over there,
Yeah.
Hickory,
Well, I mean,
right?
and not
having
just
a
with
Drove
Pope.
drove his
no,
butt
I'm saying,
off.
but look at
Yeah.
Pope too. Same thing.
That
I mean,
St. Ange kid, man. I mean,
Right.
he finished 8th, and he ran
Yeah.
good all
I
race.
mean, that's the
and they
thing.
stayed, kept their cars clean.
Yeah.
That's hard
Yeah,
to do.
both guys did.
Right.
Sure did. Josh Berry, the long shot, I think. Is that what we called him?
No, no,
Dark
no.
horse.
Dark horse.
Dark
Yeah,
horse.
Dark
I
horse.
give up. I'm telling you, it made me
Dark
look
horse.
foolish 2 weeks in a row.
Josh, what the
I'm
heck,
out.
man?
Yeah,
I'm out.
Let him down. But he finished 4th. Man, I really thought he was playing a great
I did
race.
too.
And thought he was doing it just perfect.
And
There
then
was
when
going to be a
it's time to
rocket
go.
there at the end. Yeah. Not sure what
Wah,
happened.
wah, wah.
But Bobby McCarty finished
he didn't
5th.
have a PRW car. That's what happened.
Bradley McCaskill did start on the pole. He finished 7th. Zach St. Ange finished 8th, as we were talking about. Austin McDaniel, the fast guy in the weekly racing last week, he finished 9th. Last year, both races, he was a little off, finished 16th, I think, in both races, but finished in top 5 before that, so it's good to see him get some better performance over last year. Stacy Preyer, there in the middle middle part of the race, came out like a rocket. Thought
he
he was
was
going
rolling.
straight to the front, wasn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
So
He was
it's-
going straight to the front, and then he went straight to the back.
But, we talked a lot about the 2 machine, Brandon Pierce, how much he dread. I think he's over that now because he looked good. If it wasn't for mechanical failure, man, he looked pretty good.
He still hates the place.
Yeah.
Trust me. I
Yeah.
talked to him after that. He still hates it. Yeah. Alternator went bad on it.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, but he was
racing.
rolling. He looked really good.
And it's it's very unusual for them to have a failure.
Yeah, no, I'm not dogging it. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
no,
That's
no.
racing. That's just sometimes you just get slapped by it. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have some audio. Taylor Gray, our very own Brandon White, was on site there at the Cars Tour event at the Hickory Motor Speedway. He was providing fantastic live race day coverage on race22.com and got us some of the audio from that. So let's hear from our race winner, late model stock car winner, Taylor Gray. Brandon asked him about the last restart and the veteran racer, Tommy Lemons, on the outside.
It was a hard battle. I didn't get into gear all the way. Kind of hit the chip a little bit. He got a little out there, and I just had a great run on the outside. I really didn't think I was going to get him on the outside, but I did. Had an awesome race car all weekend long. And just like to thank everybody at DGR Crosley, Valvoline, Durst, and everyone else. Man, it's awesome to win my second Cars Tour race out here, and it's just a great feeling.
When did he win his first one?
I think he was a little confused there.
I think
No,
so.
maybe the second one he's ran or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was the second time.
Second
he ran.
time he's ran.
Because I looked, I didn't see any starts
Yeah, no.
prior to Hickory, so
No.
or the Southern National
Right,
second
no.
start. So
Because he's just 14.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant. right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
maybe he
probably
meant
is what he
second
meant.
win at Hickory, too.
Yeah, I think he might have won one last year.
Yeah, he
He
did.
I thought he won more, but he could have
Yeah.
won just
Right.
one. He ran real good.
you know,
did
we
run
were
pretty
talking
good.
about being a rocket there in the mid part of the stages there, the race, and he gave his crew a lot of help in keeping him to save tires on those 150
It's
laps.
a 150 lap race, single file. Sometimes we got the jump on the outside, but my guys just did a great job just telling me to save tires every single lap, and just did a really good job at saving tires at 150 laps. I ended up running like my fastest lap on 140 laps or something like that. So did a really good job of doing that. All my guys just did a great job of telling me how to do it, walking me through the steps.
Brandon also spoke with Bubba Pollard, another Cars Tour Super Late Model victory for Mr. Pollard. Pollard raced hard down the stretch with Brandon Setzer and had nothing but respect for Setzer.
I knew Brandon was good, so I was kind of watching. He's king of this place, and we've had good cars, and we were better. We were almost equal there at the end. I felt like I knew I had to get out in front of him on the restart to be able to keep him off because I could fire off better than him, and then we leveled off. So just getting out in front of him was key on the restart, and staying out front.
They said Tyler was talking about some of the on the post race PA. They decided Thursday to come race at Hickory, and said he really wanted to win.
I wanted to win here so bad. For years and years I've tried, and then we took a break, and the last couple of years we tried again, and we've had problems, failures. Just wasn't able to finish. We've had fast cars, so just come here, get ready for Easter Bunny. I want to win that race, try to put ourselves in position and get all the information we can off this place. So I think this was by far the best car I've had at Hickory tonight. So hopefully we can take that into April.
There you go. So he's trying to gear up for some more racing action at Hickory, so he'll be back. Now, he did confirm that he is racing a late model stock car at Orange County. Now, Roger, you're in the business. You're a technical guy. You're an engineer. You know all the ins and outs of these chassis. So Brandon asked Bubba Pollard about going from super late model to regular late model racing.
It's all a race car. It's got to turn left and have drive off. So they're all the same. We just gotta make them work.
There you go.
That is completely true.
Yeah. There you go.
That is true.
There's nothing wrong with that statement.
From the horse's mouth.
He's the man. Why would you even question him?
Oh, yeah. And rumor is after he got screwed at the Rattler or whatever down there it was, so I heard, he's going to be racing. Every super race you see around here, he'll probably be at it.
That's good.
Plus
That's
his
good for the
sponsor
sport.
there.
Yeah, oh yeah. People come to see Bubba
Yeah,
Pollard.
for sure. He's
Yeah.
a draw.
Absolutely. Redneck Jesus, they call him. Why do they call him that anyway?
Because he's the man.
He's the
Yeah,
man.
I
Okay.
mean-
Yeah.
All right, let's kind of round about the big show. We're going to call Chris
How much
coming up
news
here.
you got left?
I got plenty. What else you want?
I'm
Pick
going
a car.
to the bathroom.
He
Let
ain't
me
even
know
got
when this
through
is over.
halfway through the catalog over here. Yeah.
Orange County, $30,000. They got trying to get 40-some drivers right now on the website. There's 31 listed. I know of 3 or 4 that are definitely committed.
Right.
That's not on the list yet. So I say they're getting close to late 30s. Top 30s so far. And you think they'll pick up more?
Yeah, I think they'll get in the 40s. I mean, and that's what I said from the beginning is they'd be at 40 somewhere.
Right now, after 2 races, 20-plus drivers have made both races. And on this list that's posted, 10 new drivers. So, they're going to get a lot of new faces coming through the series, which I think is good.
Absolutely.
So far, 37 different drivers have attempted to make a race with the Cars Tour. And I think that's pretty good, 2 races out.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and he talked about the qualifying. Or we're going to talk about the qualifying.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yeah, I've got it on my mind because I thought that that's going to do time trials and all this, but they're going to actually do heat races. Is that right? We need to make sure we ask him about that.
Right. Yep.
Do you know how many they're going to take out of it? I'm curious.
He'll tell us, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. We'll
talk
talk
to him
with
about
him about that. So that's all I got. That is news. It is news across the nation. Back to you, son.
So is catalog done now?
Yeah.
You think?
Christmas wish.
I'm waiting. I don't know. I don't want to jump in too early.
I'm just glad you got back from the bathroom.
Is he still done? Holy cow.
Y'all just jealous because I'm prepped.
Wow.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
We call it some stuff, but
Yeah,
can't say it on
can't
the
say
air.
it on there.
I know.
That's
Y'all
a
love me.
pre-show.
Yeah, if you come for the pre-show, you get all the entertainment.
Yeah.
Where the free beer and T-shirts are.
Yeah.
And the guns and the hookers and the fire trucks.
Oh, this is a church show.
Wow. Here this guy goes.
Yeah.
Wow. He's the bad influence on
Right.
us.
He gets out of
Easy
his
now.
Wednesday night
Easy.
meeting, and look what happens. A couple glasses of Chardonnay. Look what happens. The housewife in him comes out. Next thing you know, he'll be cooking with an apron.
He does that regularly.
So I'm telling you.
I got an icing.
Nobody wants to know that.
Wow. Jesus. This show
Moving
is
on.
This show's went so far off the rails already. It ain't even
That wasn't
funny.
my fault either.
Let's talk to Thomas Beane.
Yeah, let's
Let's
talk.
don't. Let's
Let's
don't.
see what he's got
Let's
to
don't.
say.
He don't know anything. He don't even know what's going on here.
Yeah, good point.
I'm so far out of the loop over here. I'm always the other side of the table.
Well, I mean, we've stuck you beside of Corey.
I know.
I mean, I'm
Well.
sorry. I know it smells over there, but
Yeah, not even worse than me.
Let's talk
I'm
about
not gonna
bodies.
Let's talk about Thomas's body because
Let's not.
it's obviously still in his car because he didn't race the cars for the tour
He
race.
did
So.
not.
Yeah.
smart man
Yeah.
for sure. Let's dive into some of the stuff that happened this weekend.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know, one of the races that I went to, the first race that I went to this weekend, Anderson Motor Speedway. Decent race.
How many cars they have done?
12, I think.
Really?
That's not
Yeah.
bad for a Friday
Which is
night.
about normal for Anderson.
Yeah,
So
it's Friday night. Hard to get there.
they weren't really, off. But they had a pretty good little race. Ashton Higgins purchased the car that Ty Gibbs drove for Greg Marlowe last year, and he had it down there. And he was really fast. He was really, really fast. And from the start of the race, man, he looked really good. And Trey Gibson led most of
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say I watched him on Racing Monitor. He stayed third or something, didn't he?
Something like that, second or third, right
Yeah.
in there. And then, right there toward the end, 4 laps to go, I believe. Whatever transpired, I didn't see it. I was standing on the front of pit road.
And I couldn't see it.
And apparently there's no video because I haven't seen any anywhere.
And the race monitor showed him the lap taking like 4 extra seconds, but you
Well,
could never see.
So you knew something
Yeah,
happened.
but you didn't know what happened.
Right. And
any
I wasn't
audio
even
from it?
watching. We do. So let's hang
Yeah,
on.
hold on.
Let's hang on here. Hang
Gotta
on.
go.
Got to do the build-up.
No, I can't wait.
Right. So I didn't know anything happened. So I'm standing there on pit road, standing behind the victory lane sign, and I'm just standing there talking to somebody, and all of a sudden I hear a ruckus behind me.
Ruckus.
And it's Corey Gibson, Trey Gibson's brother. He had done run up in there and tried to do whatever. I talked to him. That's what we're going to go with. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I got a little
didn't
bit of
see that
video
part.
of that. It's on Facebook. There's a video of that. And then a few minutes later, Trey comes over.
I saw that.
And that was an interesting exchange between Trey and Ashton's mom first, as she tried to keep him back. And then he made his way
What's
over
your
finally.
thought about that?
What's my thought about what?
The mom being in between there.
Yeah.
Well, I am. I
Or
got
the
a
dad. I'm
not-
not dogging, right? Because
Yeah.
you could be him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, it's not like he wanted. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not dogging him as
Oh,
a
no.
dad or as a
yeah. I
kid,
mean,
or her as a mom, you know?
right. I mean, it's natural instinct.
Yeah, I
think,
agree.
You know, I
It
mean,
is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's hard,
It's
right?
just
with
your
these-
crew getting in
right,
the way. Yeah.
But you as a racer, right? That's got to
Yeah.
piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
Completely bad because
Yeah.
you're there to race again. It didn't.
And
he
a lot of
spun
times
you,
the racers just
right?
want to
So-
I
talk.
think he
Right.
just moved him, but
Yeah.
he never
No, I'm
knows
saying.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? I'm
Yeah.
saying in the overall scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's just natural. I think to happen that way. The video's got like 30,000 views.
Really?
So it's been shared out there really, really good.
That's
So,
awesome.
That means you've done watched it 15,000 by
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, I've seen it a couple times.
I'm up to like 100. So
I just usually just watch it on my phone, so I don't know if I've watched it on Facebook or not. But just good times. So Trey basically just came over and told him that he didn't expect him to race like that, and didn't really know why he run over him because I mean clearly Ashton was faster, and at that point in the race I think Trey was his car was giving up, and
yeah.
and
I think he was frustrated.
I think Ashton just, my opinion, I didn't see it, but my opinion, Ashton caught him really quick and just
Overdrove into
decided
the
to
corner
dispose of him right then. You know what I
Really?
mean?
See, I didn't.
I can
Yeah.
go. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, when
And
you're
he
that
just went.
close to the end, and
Right.
you might screw up and you
Exactly.
fall back, and then he's not going to win the race. So you might as well
Right.
take your chance while
Right.
you're there.
I mean, and I know Trey was mad, but at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think that he would have. Maybe he'd have done it a little bit differently, but I think the outcome would have been the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but we can listen in on what Trey Gibson had to say.
I like to race people, and I like to win for my, trophy. I don't like to just sit there and hit people. I was in front of him the whole race. Just goes off in turn 3 without using the brakes and just dumps me, about spins me out. But It's okay. I ain't running for points, and I know he is, so he'll get what's coming to him. Win about $60,000 on that car. Here we are, still same body, everything. Started working on it yesterday, and still was on medium tonight, so it's fine.
Yeah, what'd you say to him over there?
I told him he might be young, but he needs to earn his trophy. He usually don't race like that, but I don't know who's on the other end of the radio or whatever, but we'll be back.
Oh my! I'm glad you guys can't see in here tonight.
It's gonna be a lot. Sounds like some stuff's getting destroyed.
Yeah, I think cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah, I do
Trey, Trey doesn't really
Trey's a
usually
good
race
kid.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never seen him do nothing
you
crazy,
know,
go out tear up
he's a
cars
good
or nothing.
I mean, I think once I was getting ready to say once he watches the video he'll be okay, but I don't think there is any.
Yeah, I don't know.
So of course, glad we were there to capture that and see all that going down.
It almost reminded me Bubba Pollard.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Right,
Bubba
like, almost the
really
same
kept
type of
his
thing.
cool. You could see he was cool. These guys were pretty
but-
animated, pretty upset, and when he went to go talk to Riggs, he was pretty cool.
Right.
He was the coolest one of the bunch.
Yeah, but I mean, Trey didn't.
Yeah, he can get crazy there.
Right. He
No.
didn't.
No,
he didn't sound
No,
like
in the
he
video
body
earlier
slammed
he
him or
was.
Yeah,
what do you mean? He didn't. When he went up to talk to him, he didn't body
Yeah,
slam him
I
against
mean,
the car or
he was
nothing.
just pretty fired up,
Yeah.
when he was walking over.
Oh,
I think,
I got you.
and I think that's maybe why the mom's reaction was the way it was. You know what I mean? Because he was coming pretty quick. Because I was walking right behind him, so I know he was
I
coming
got you.
pretty
I
quick.
mean, they got a big crew down there, I think.
Yeah.
I've been down there. There's a big
Oh,
crew
yeah.
on that. If they're coming at you, it's not good.
Right.
No.
Is that his first win? First win, right?
Ashton's no. He won one race last year in a dead heat with Kenneth Hedden.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Really good, really
Awesome.
good finish there. And we can hear from Ashton as well.
It was a really good race. Kind of stayed calm at the beginning and saved my stuff for the end, and ended up having a good car there at the end, and ended up being able to get by Trey and never look back.
Tell me about him coming over here. Whatever contact you guys had, tell me about that.
One of Trey's guys came over here, and I would have talked to Trey if he wanted to talk, but I mean, if you're gonna come over here and run your mouth, don't even come talk. I mean, I'll talk to you calmly and nicely if you want to talk.
What happened between you two guys on the racetrack?
I caught him in a hurry, and it was nothing on purpose. He was just, I was faster than he was getting in, and we were about the same getting off, and it's 4 to go. You got to do what you got to do, but I mean, hey, it ended that way, and not how I wanted to end it. And I definitely didn't mean to do it that hard, but we'll be back next week.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
his
I love the way you asked the questions, though, and the tone of it. It's like, just please, God, say something crazy off the damn wall. He's got a big pot just stirring the hell out of stuff, man.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm there. I'm there to do a job.
Between
so,
Langley and the guy checking the timing in the street stock in the background, you hear? What is he doing?
Oh wow.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Good stuff right there.
yeah, great
That's
stuff.
top-notch.
Yeah.
How was the crowd down there?
The crowd at Anderson was pretty good. The crowd at Kingsport was spectacular.
Oh, I'm
Awesome.
sure. Open day at
Awesome.
Kingsport's always big.
Yeah, and Karen, she, I talked to her about 30 minutes before the race, and we look up in the stands. There's hardly nobody there, and all of a sudden, here they
Yeah,
come.
but you know what she's doing? I saw she's doing some Facebook Live, and they're trying to do some things up there. I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah, they're working it. And,
Yep.
and speaking of, Hickory was on fire this
Yeah.
weekend with their social
Oh,
media.
yeah. Really?
Yeah. They had all kinds
They
of
even
stuff
cleaned
out
the
there.
top of the track a couple times. Can you believe it?
Well, the record did break down.
I
too.
mean,
That-
Oh,
Jeez.
that was sad.
That was awesome.
That kind of made
I'd
me
never
sad,
seen a tow
really.
truck hauling a tow
Yeah,
truck.
that's
tow
the
truck.
first
What?
for me.
You never been to Tri-County?
Yeah.
yeah.
Thomas Beane for the win,
I
ladies
mean,
and gentlemen.
Hey,
Yep.
man, down here, I guess you can expect anything. So, but no, I've never seen that before. So, I don't know.
I've seen the ambulance at Caraway break down on the track, taking the guy out of the track. They had to get a tow truck to haul the ambulance to the end of the road to meet the real ambulance. With the guy still in the back of it.
I'm sitting here reading Mason Dunn's comments, and I don't.
Yeah. There's
I'm
30
pretty
seconds
sure-
of your life you'll never get
I'm
back.
pretty sure he's drunk already. So that's all I know. And Scott Castle chiming in, talking about Kingsport. He said the track record broke twice Saturday. That's a fact. Nick Williams has the new track record. I believe it's a 14.75.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
pretty quick.
Something like that.
See.
But and Nick was extremely fast. But man, once they dropped the green flag, Chris Van Dyke just kicked their ass. I mean, it was over.
How many
Van Dyke's
cars?
hard to beat.
Right.
I mean, it's
Thomas and
I
I
mean,
talked about that
yeah.
100 times. He's tough to beat up there.
Yeah, he is definitely tough to beat. Corey, there was 10 cars, 9 started. Really, really short.
Kind of disappointed for Kingsport.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
they
it's
always have
early
really
in the
good.
year. People probably don't have their stuff together
I
yet.
don't know. Kingsport's all those guys.
Yeah.
That's the only place they race is there.
I
A
know,
lot of
but
them, you know.
Yeah, some of them.
My personal opinion, when they changed the shock rule last year,
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
downhill from
I agree.
there.
I
Because
agree.
You have guys up there that can't compete,
Yes.
and they believed with that shock rule that they could at least somewhat be competitive.
Yeah.
Be in
I
the
mean,
ballpark. Yeah.
And now, I mean, these guys. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, these guys, they're financing parts at the parts
Yeah,
truck,
yeah, I know.
and I know that for a fact. You know, talking to Roger Clendenin, and I mean, guys who race like that, they can't afford a change like that.
No,
No.
So-
not right.
And I mean, I hope, I do know there's 4 or 5 more cars that'll show up during the course of the year. But when you're exchanging cars out like that, you'll have a couple guys that won't come back from this race, and then you'll pick up 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
You're going to be around that 10, 12,
And
13.
Kingsport was
number all year.
what 16, 17 cars.
Yeah,
about
they
every
were-
race.
They were pretty strong. They usually rarely ever dip below 18.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
So, just a question because I don't understand how people think sometimes. So, they had a big car count before. Who was
Right.
winning the races, did you say?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's
I'm
the
just
same
saying.
people.
Right.
Sure,
Oh,
same
so,
people.
So, we did, we got to have these shocks. Oh, same people winning.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
what did it really benefit?
I'm going to tell you right now, if I run, I used to run on those shocks.
Right.
And I ran the exact same setup on those shocks as I do with pull down shocks. It's the exact same, no different,
Right.
same straight thing,
Right.
no issues. And they might be a little faster, but I mean Van Dyke's going to beat you regardless.
Right.
I
I mean,
mean-
the cream's always going to rise to
yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't
before
think that
they
was
were
a good
buying,
move.
before they were buying shocks every week, the good guys wore, and it was still costing you an arm and a leg. Why don't you just run? I mean, it's hard to make that
So
up.
you're saying that people were buying the Pro Shocks every week so they
Yeah.
had a new set?
Oh yeah, because they gave up. I mean,
Yeah, but why wouldn't you make them give up and use that to your advantage?
What the shot giving up?
Yeah.
I mean, you just didn't. The shot giving up was a disadvantage.
I
in
got
that
ya.
it wasn't like the shock was getting better.
Okay.
It was
Right.
getting worse. Like, I mean, I could probably handle when I did it. I mean, I ran a season on them, but I didn't run all season.
Okay.
So I know there was people. The first time I went up there was changing shocks probably every 2 to 4 races. maybe.
Non-rebuildable,
Yeah.
correct? It was
No,
a
yeah,
sealed
you
shock.
got to buy it off the parts truck.
Right.
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 Which is a good
Only
deal.
a
Don't
few
get me
people
wrong.
sell
but
them, right? Too. I think.
I think you
wasn't
got
it?
to buy it from Roger.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the
I
only
thought
guy that
Clendenin was
sells
the
it.
only
Yeah.
one that sold.
Yeah, and I'm sure that rule change, hurt him,
Yeah.
because he's stocking all these parts. So I'm
But-
sure he bought a bunch of.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
the thing is
He'll sell the
if
dirt
I want to
cars.
go race there, why would I want to buy a set of shocks just to go run one race?
Right. I don't
And-
disagree with you there,
and-
but then nobody comes there.
Right.
There's no
That's true.
there's no
No, it's
influx
never
of
been
cars.
that way,
And
right?
Oh,
it
yeah, it's
never
out-
has.
yeah.
Them
And
people
it's
that
on
didn't-
Friday nights.
Right,
I
you
mean,
come off
Yeah.
the mountain or you don't. That
Yeah.
was it, right? Them
You know,
guys.
Lee Pulliam and Matt Bowling went there, but I mean
Yeah.
they were going there to get points. So
Points,
they
yeah.
didn't
That's
damn
right.
about
Yeah.
buying some shots. They
Yeah.
didn't care about that.
And even before that, any other time, no other people.
Yeah.
They
Right.
wasn't chasing the national championship going through there.
No, and I mean, honestly, I mean, it was a whole lot. There's a whole lot of easier places for people to get points than to
Oh
go to
yeah,
Kingsport.
you don't
'Cause
you
Kingsport,
don't
you
go
ain't
to
just gonna
Kingsport.
walk in and
No,
whip their
that's-
ass.
But you know
that's
what?
a whole
No,
different animal.
Kingsport's a
out there.
cool place to be down in and have a packed crowd to see people parked
Oh.
all the way around that joint. You know what I mean? On the top of that area. And
Yeah, on the
that's fun.
backside.
Yeah.
Always when I loved announcing there when they have the good crowd back there, the hills have eyes over
That's
there.
cool.
Them folks have a great time over there.
The trackside parking there, I looked probably, I'm going to say 10 or 15 minutes before the race started, and there was 11 spots still available, and that was it.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm sure that several of them filled in
That's
the
awesome.
meantime. I just didn't count them after that. Scott Castle, chiming in said that a bunch of them just weren't ready yet, and I totally agree with you. I do think there's a handful of cars not ready. Will Bellamy, the announcer there at Kingsport Speedway, said it was a 14.756. That was what the time was.
That's getting after.
Nice, yep.
That's definitely up on the wheel, and honestly, I mean, I think you got like 3 guys there who are really going to be in contention for the win every week.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I mean, those guys up there. I hear people say, I mean, it's not as big a deal anymore because Van Dyke's come other places and won. But
Right.
there to begin with, they're like, oh, Kingsport, that's easy. Those
Right.
guys are junk up there. But you don't go into their house and beat him.
Yeah, ask Lee Pulliam how that worked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of A Speedway 10 years ago. You know,
Right,
when-
yeah.
I mean, the same people's there, never went nowhere.
Right.
I mean, well, Rodney Cook go to South Boston, don't run that great, wins
Yeah.
every race there.
Right.
Philip Morris
Right.
comes there, brings 47,000 cars with him, can't run top 5.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think you're going to see an influx of Kingsport guys going to Motor Mile this
Yeah,
year.
I think that might hurt.
I know Chris Van Dyke and Nick Williams are both planning on. I don't think Nick's new car will be ready in time to go to the first race, but he'll be there
well,
after
speaking
that.
of Motor Mile, Zach Bruniger is racing the first race at Motor Mile.
Sweet.
Well,
If he can find a trailer.
that's
We got to find him a damn
can,
trailer.
can we get him? Can we get him a trailer, Roger? I mean, don't you have one?
I
here?
can't.
A dolly. or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, there's some junk parked over here in this other parking lot over here.
Yeah, it's not junk.
It's nice trailers over there.
Yeah, but yeah, he's
See that tree
going
almost
to
fell on
run
him?
Motor Mile.
Yeah, I did see that.
Wow,
actually.
that freaked me out
I
the other
did.
day.
I did see that.
Insurance claim.
Yeah, but Kingsport, great crowd. A little off on the car count. But it happens. I missed. I
The
missed
other classes
probably,
have good counts?
Well, the little 4-cylinders, they got 37,000 of them.
Yeah.
There were plenty of them there,
Yeah.
and the mod streets looked pretty good. I missed both of those races, though, taking off and going to.
And then a bunch of crap
Hickory.
happened in those or something?
Yeah.
Always.
Rusty Clendenin caught
Oh,
on
Rusty.
fire. and,
Whoa.
so it was
Dang
wild times in the mod street division. Hate that I missed those two classes. The Pure 4s and the mod streets are always, and usually the mini stocks. I don't know why, but mini stocks this time, Kevin Cantor just whipped a butt, man. I mean, he started like 8th or 10th or something and just roared to the front. So, not much action there in that race. All right, let's see what else we got. We got Anderson and Kingsport.
They had a little cars tour race.
Cars tour. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. I tell you what, let's Doc work on getting Chris Regal on the line for us so we can have a little chat with him. But in the meantime, we'll sit here and talk while you try to get him dialed up. Man, it did turn into a demolition derby over there.
I think that was just good Hickory racing.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. I mean, I've seen worse.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't. How many cars actually finished the race?
right,
It wasn't
and
like
here's
it
my
wasn't like there was 5 cars finished the race.
I mean,
I think it was like 9 or 10 or something.
It was
like
more
that.
than that.
Hold on a
everybody
minute.
Acts
Hold
like there
on.
was all these goofy moves made.
Yeah.
Like there were.
I mean,
nothing.
there
all-
was an 18 car making some pretty goofy
that
moves.
one I
Well,
will give
I'm
you.
gonna tell you.
Right.
It was all fact of
That's a
you
dart with
couldn't
no
run
feathers
really
is
high
what that
up.
is.
Yeah, it was just a fact you couldn't run really high up the hill like you usually can, and you had to run tight on each other. And when you do that, people are gonna wreck. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just
Yeah,
a
but
product of it.
everybody wants to win that race.
Excitement. Justin Carroll and that Camden kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Tell us about it.
Yeah,
Oh well.
flying birds and
Yeah, I mean
water
they were
bottles.
racing good. I mean the kid qualified was it Camden Gully? How you say his
Camden
name?
Gully.
Yeah.
Gully.
Yep.
Gully.
Yeah.
something, whatever.
Man, do you not know who his dad is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure you knew.
Yeah, I do know. He was a pretty good little driver.
He was a pretty good little shoe in his
Yeah,
day.
well, I mean, he qualified third or fourth.
Yep,
I mean, he was
third,
up there.
yep.
He was fast, and then early in the race, I'm sitting there watching it, and I saw it. But then I seen the video, and yeah, he did. He come down on Justin a little bit.
He
he's
came
trying-
down a little bit, but Justin was up the track a little bit. Let's just be honest.
I
there.
think it's more the ones, but
Oh,
it's,
it was,
it's
100%.
hard to be in that position. It's the old thing. If you get too high, you're gonna wreck. So you might as well pinch them down and hope for the best.
Yeah, but it's still early.
Didn't
That's
it?
the thing
Yeah.
I can't figure out. I mean,
It was
that's
lap
Yeah.
3 or 4 or something.
It
like
wasn't.
that.
That's
It was like
that's
30 or something.
30, right? 30,
Yeah.
35.
Oh,
This
was
is
it?
this
It
is a
wasn't
lot of
far in
riding
there.
still.
He
left,
actually
you know
the
what I
one
mean?
actually moved forward, which I was surprised. But
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's hard to be in those
Everybody's
big packs
jockeying.
like that because
Yeah.
you know if you get up top and you start losing positions, your
You're
night's
hosed.
over. Yeah,
You're
you don't
hosed.
want to get back in that field, so you
Yeah.
might as well play your cards at that point.
Yeah,
just for reference, 12 cars finished on the lead lap and 14 total finished out of 30. So, or 29.
That's half. That's pretty
There you
good.
go.
50-50.
and I'm
Yeah.
confused, and I don't know. Well, I have to talk about that
Okay.
later.
Anyway, the whole thing, Justin threw a water bottle at him. Well, no, they got into it down the back stretch or something on a caution,
Yeah,
beating
yeah.
each other.
Threw a water
whatever.
bottle at the racetrack.
At on pit road, maybe.
I don't know
Okay.
if it was on pit road and
Yeah.
he threw a water bottle. I think it was at one of the crew members or something like that. Maybe Jason's brother or something is who he threw it. And that's probably a bad idea for Justin. I'll just go ahead and let him know because Jason's brother will probably beat him senseless. But
But the last we talked last 3 times we've been to Hickory. Who's got the fight?
Yeah, man. I
Them
mean,
Carrolls, ain't they?
Justin Carroll and Nick Payne and the Hefners.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they
I
are
didn't think about it till
a
just
rowdy
now.
bunch.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till just now.
I mean, the Labor Day race last
Wow.
year.
My
the
type
Bobby
of
Hines-
people, man. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun times at the
Yeah.
racetrack when you got somebody who
I
you know,
didn't
isn't
think
scared
about
to
it.
get into it.
I didn't
So.
think about
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. You got one of the cars sitting over here, the Charlie Watson machine. You know where Hefner and him got together last week.
Well, there's half of it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's what's left of it there.
It'll be ready tomorrow.
Justin Carroll said it was in the car. It was at the car. Okay,
At the
gotcha.
car.
Yep, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Gotcha. Yeah. That was a
Glad
better.
he's
That was a
listening.
better idea than throwing it at Gully's brother there. I can go ahead and tell you that much.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, that didn't end well for people.
There was a lot of good racing in the race, though. I
agree.
thought. I mean, there was a lot of comers and goers.
Yeah.
Stacy Perrier, I looked
Yeah.
and I told Langley at one point, I said, "Look, here comes this 17 car
Like
coming."
a rocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a rocket. Then
And
it
he
was
went
just
like
a
a
rocket
rock.
to
It
the
was
back.
just
the other way.
It was about 30 laps too early, I think.
Yeah. And Deep McCaskill, I thought he was off so bad, and I asked John West, I said, what is he doing? He said, he's seen how these idiots are driving up here. He said, he's just riding around the back.
I think that was a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, and then he took off and went there, towards the end.
Yeah, where did he end up?
I don't know, something happened to him there.
7th.
Oh, did
where
it?
Deke ended up finishing.
Okay.
Yep.
He
So,
thought he got a little higher. But anyway,
Yeah.
I thought it was a great race. And then Josh, we're all sitting there, we just know Josh. He's just biding his time.
Yeah.
He passes
I
the
think
seven-
he's just
he
lurking
passes
in the
the
weeds,
17.
right? Like,
Yep.
He passed the 17 car. The 17 car said, "Oh, hell no.
Not
Yeah.
today.
No. And put the bumper to him, went right back and just
Yep.
left.
Yep.
And I think Tommy had something for him that last lap coming to. He tried to dive in a little bit off turn 4, got loose, and that was
Yeah.
what really killed him there on that last lap.
Yeah. Good run for Tommy though.
Yeah,
for
he was
sure.
up on the wheel, man. He drove a great race.
And somebody that we really haven't talked about this year, but has run good both races, consistent champion from last year, man. Bobby McCarty finished 5th. I can't remember exactly where he finished at Southern
Same,
National.
I think.
I was thinking it
Fourth or
was.
It wasn't
but,
pretty either.
no,
I mean, he just
no.
kind of kept chipping
Well,
and kept chipping
he
and
told
kept
me,
chipping.
they were off a little bit, all weekend, but it just stayed consistent.
That place is-
stayed the same.
It's amazing how we say it a lot, right? So those more Virginia-based guys didn't, at a place that more the North Carolina guys,
Right.
run at. Intriguing. I'm interested to trend that throughout the
Yeah.
Cars Tour deal and see
It
if
is
we can
something
get
interesting
anybody
to watch.
crossing the line. I didn't.
Right. I agree. But Bobby hasn't been anything spectacular this year. But I mean, he's probably doing pretty good in points. Josh Berry's probably. I haven't looked at the points.
He
so I'm
loads
just
the
taking
car
a
to
guess.
trailer every week. It's not
Right,
torn to pieces,
for sure.
Right,
Which is
exactly.
a big part.
Which is pretty normal for Bobby. He doesn't.
Yeah, but that's a big part of
Yeah.
building speed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
put it in there, how much time did you save to really
Right.
work on things that matter all week
Exactly.
long?
100%.
Exactly.
I never, you never.
Instead of fixing
Yeah.
fixing the car, you work on setup and doing other things.
We-
Oh yeah.
In one season, we took Casey Kane and Tyler Walker. With Casey Kane, these were the same cars. We win 5 races. With Tyler Walker, we destroyed 12. They were the same cars. We could make speed, and then as soon
Right.
as you would destroy it, you'd have to claw and scratch and
Right.
fight and try to get the cars good again. I mean, just you don't realize how big rolling it in the trailer to be able to work on it the right way again the next week is, rather than repairing.
Yeah.
Right, 100%. Also, give a shout out to Bradley McCaskill.
Yeah.
Led some laps there.
Yeah, he was up front the whole time.
Ended up finishing 6th, which was better than he run when he came
For him, yeah, for the
week,
last time,
for the,
I mean, does this? I always kind of think, does this make anybody in the Cars Tour say, "Hey, I might need to go run the week before now," or at some point of the season to say, "Hey, I need to go see what this racetrack's going to do when it cools down."
I don't know why they would not be doing that anyways.
I mean, you might as well. Got money.
I mean,
Spend it.
every promoter that I talk to, I encourage them to have a race the week before. Every one of them that I've talked to.
I mean,
and I
at
believe
some
Carteret
point,
is this year, and they didn't last year. So I think it'll be a good
I
move
mean,
on their part.
yeah, Carteret. The only issue is you got the different carburetors and stuff.
That's an
I mean,
interesting place, ain't it?
Oh yeah, good times.
Stacy
I like
Puryear
Go Back.
headed there this weekend to get some track time for the Cars Tour race. I do know that.
Was it 5,000 to win this
Yep,
weekend?
5,000 to win this weekend. Jason York will be there. I believe he's running full time at Carteret this year. So that's going to be an interesting one
that
down
will
there in
be
the mix.
interesting.
Brandon Clements, of course, last year's champion,
Beast.
pretty much dominated the season.
Beast.
Yep. I don't believe Lane Riggs is going this weekend, so at least somebody else will have a chance to win. Because every time he goes, man, he just lays it on them for sure.
If
So-
Jason York wouldn't break, he'd have a lot of stuff for
Oh
him.
my gosh, man! If Jason could get rid of the bad luck, man, I mean, he'd win a lot of races.
Yeah.
I mean, he finally did get him a win down there last
he
year.
did.
So, you know, it ought to be a good race down there at Carteret this weekend.
Sure.
I mean, you know, 5,000 to win should draw out a couple guys. I seen they had 300 to start. You know, they bumped the purse up from their normal. So I think that'll be
like
really
it's
good.
like $2,000 for second or something. I mean, it pays decently, you know, through the top 7, 8 positions.
It's decent. I mean, you know, I think it'll be really good. Really good for him. Mason Dunn chiming in said there's plenty of races before the Cars Tour race at Langley, and I'm sure guys will be coming out there. I mean, especially a lot of the Cars Tour guys are going to run the Hampton Heat anyways, and will probably run the Grassroots 200. So that'll be some good action for sure. All right, what else? What other races? What other? Oh, did we got Chris on the line here?
Yeah, I got him on hold.
All right, let's grab Chris.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's grab Chris and see what he's got to say here.
All right.
All right, we got Chris Regal, the series director for the Cars Tour here. Chris, thank you for joining us again this week, buddy.
Yeah, glad to be back for our second week, our weekly report back with you guys.
Well, hopefully we'll be a whole lot harder. I got these guys around me, man. They're on crack here, I think. But
wow,
hopefully we're a whole lot harder on you this time than we were last time. I know we got Tom.
I'm sure that's going to happen. I was planning on it.
I bet. We got Thomas Beane that's joined us too, so he's going to ask you some questions if he ever figures out how to bring his microphone to his face. So
he just figured out how to get the headphones on. It's been an hour and 20 minutes.
It's been something. Anyways, tell us about Hickory, man. You know, kind of a wild race, especially 2 weeks out from the 30,000 to win late model stock race. We talked about the last show how super late models were a whole lot rougher than late model stocks, and I guess they decided to make up for it.
Yeah, no, this weekend's NTP Tire 300 Hickory was not our favorite type of show. I keep telling everybody it was 4 hours, and that's just not what we like. You know, we actually keep some stats of average of what a show should be and what it is, and I know we started like at 7:33 and ended at 11:23, so not good. So, but yeah, I mean, we started off a good smooth race there with late model stocks, and then from there just went downhill quick. And you know, when you wreck a lot and there's a lot of incidents, then there's a lot of pieces and parts that falls off. So then you got more cautions, debris cautions that are just annoying, and just couldn't ever get going, and just a it's not typical late model stock racing for the Cars Tour. For sure, usually those guys put on just great, phenomenal racing, and it started off that way. But after that, man, it was rough. It was rough. The late model stocks definitely made up for it, which is driving me crazy in the tower, because you kind of said exactly what I'm thinking. We're 2 weeks away from our biggest race there is, and I don't need a bunch of torn up race cars to give anybody an excuse not to be there. So the late model stock race was rough, but it was cool to see Tanner Gray get his win. 14 years old, running for DGR, so that was a little bit of a little head turner and shock, and definitely brought his name on the map in a hurry. He ran well, even at Southern National he ran well, but he was impressive, fast all weekend. It wasn't a thing like he lucked into it or survived. He still beat some quality guys there, and on the super side, Bubba was good again. I don't if Josh doesn't spin and things like that, maybe a different thing. And I think Brandon was good too. So we'd like to see all them guys race it out, but overall it was rough, but some good winners for sure, especially in late model stock there.
Yeah, definitely. Taylor Gray, getting the win. I think that was a surprise to a lot of people, how well he run. I mean, I had him at 25-1 odds, so I'd have lost a crap load of money if somebody would have bet on him. But it's how it goes. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him to go in there and dominate the way he did, and he really did. I mean, those guys give him, some battles there, but I mean, he really just was the most dominant car there.
Yeah, and those, that team. I know they're, DGR is a bigger organization, but they had to work their tails off changing an engine and stuff in the 54, and getting through tech and everything all at one time. They had to hustle. You see them running and pushing the 54 because he had to be the first one to go out to qualify, and then the 17 was a little late too. Finally made it up there in time, but that was surprising for him, and that was a track. We did see Hickory, people that run good at Hickory have ran limiteds, and Brody Pope being another one of those Hickory, regular, shall we say, Austin McDaniel, top 10, that shined through. So people that knew the Hickory, that shined through, and Taylor has ran a little bit there. So, but car stores different levels. So pretty cool to see him get that win.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Brody Pope and that Zach St. Ange kid run pretty good, and even Camden Gully, really surprised everybody with a third place qualifying effort until him and Justin Carroll got together there. Whatever happened there, but those he had a great run. So it was kind of a different kind of race with different names toward the front of the field.
Yeah. I tell you, this is how we calculate. You guys will probably get a kick out of it. Part of our 2012 program, if you finish basically outside the top 12, we make sure you get $1,000 to start. So, 8 of the touring 12 were outside of those, and I feel like we've got a pretty talented class. So that kind of tells you we had a lot of different names up front than normal.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. Hindsight, do you think that it was a mistake running that race, given how it played out with all the carnage, running it 2 weeks before Orange County?
Well, no, I think it should. We've got a strong start to our schedule. Hickory does attract cars. Southern National had a big money show, and here we got Orange County come up. Yes, it would be ideal to maybe have a couple weeks off in between, but the way the schedule plays out, it is good. If guys can bust their butts a little bit and get everything fixed and they're at Orange County, they do have a month off after that. So and once again, it's normally we don't have late model stock carnage like we saw. So
right.
I think we'll be okay still.
Right, got you. Over on the super side, a lot of Twitter lit up after the non-call on Bubba Pollard. So take us through, what you saw as the race director that led you to not putting Bubba Pollard to the rear.
Well, so most all places we have the technology and stuff. We definitely pride ourselves on that. To have replay and have tools that are at my fingertips or our fingertips to use. Hickory, the beautiful layout that it is where they do the production announcer and everything like that is downstairs a level and all the way across. So the ability for me to have access to instant replay isn't there. So everything that I have to make a decision on is just what I see and what my team or whatever, and that we just have there in the tower. So on the incident when the 97, I know some people, the 97 broke a hub. Well, he didn't break a hub. Maybe that's not what caused him to spin. He tried to stay off of Brandon after kind of making a little contact and just looped it around. And what I initially thought I saw was everybody, jammed on the brakes, being the 26 of Pollard, and jammed on the brakes just to not, to avoid it, and kind of fun, grab a gear and went, kind kind of basically the same thing that Josh did, but Josh obviously was the reason the caution came out. So, you know, my initial thought was that, you know, hey, the 97's what caused out a caution. Everybody else either stopped, spun, grab a gear, go, didn't really slow down, you know, stop. No one hit anything, which everybody did a phenomenal job. Nobody hit the wall. Nobody hit no one else. Everything, you know, hey, let's line up, go back to the last completed lap, with the exception of the 97 who caused the yellow. But looking back, now that I've had the ability to replay, the 14, you know, dumped the 26. So there was that contact there. So really, you know, looking back, the 26 and the 14 should have went to the rear for contact and being in and being the yellow as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I saw when I watched the replay. I actually took out my phone and jumped on, while I was sitting in the press box there, I jumped on my phone just to watch the replay because I seen it, you know, with my naked eye. And just like you, I didn't really know what happened, you know, and watched the replay from my phone. And maybe that's something that'll be, you know, an option to you. You know, they can give you an account on there and you can watch it from the tower. That would probably be a really good thing.
It's you know, too, you'd also be surprised how many spotters like to text me and call me too during the race. So I know that sounds good an idea, but when someone's mad or unhappy, my phone is a little bit busier than you would think. Or when I think someone mad, then they let me know. You know. So maybe not the phone is not the ideal. What would be the ideal would be like we have in other places, having a monitor, me working with, you know, the producer to spin it back with even what you guys don't see. I can spin it back 2, 3, 4 times that he doesn't even show on air and let me look at something, you know?
Right.
You know, so that you know, I appreciate, you know, the phone idea sounds great, but I try to stay away from because you know, that when people have my phone number during the event, they tend to use that as much as they want.
Should we give it out on air? This would be a time to give it out?
No. Well, it ain't hard to find. You can go on our website.
Right.
Get it anyway.
I was just getting ready to say.
So,
right.
But yeah, no. I mean, it's like I said. It, you know, looking back, it wasn't what I initially thought, because it, you know, it did happen so fast, and it did, you know, get to that situation. But looking back, you know, the 14, you know, just didn't get slowed up and hit the 26, and that's also why you know, I know everybody talks about the 26, but the 14 spun as well. So
right. Well, I appreciate you, you know, owning up to it.
I do
mean,
too.
you didn't have to. You know what I mean?
100%. I like you taking it.
Well, I mean, it happens. You know, anytime there's anytime there's a human element involved, this is kind of what I was explaining to a fan. You know, is, you know, we're in the beauty of a sport where, you know, if you think of a pass interference in football or a foul in basketball, the referee, you know, he doesn't have to explain why he called that to a fan, you know, or called it racing. And this is one of the you know, good things about our sport. We're very open, and we try to be open. Is, hey, this is what happened. And, you know, you could imagine a referee stopping and talking to fans. Hey, this is what happened, or telling the fans or whatever. This is why I made this call. You know, you know, we try to be. And anytime there's a human element involved, it's not going to be 100%. You know, you try to do the best you can and go on with it. But as I always say, anytime that those guys have contact or have incident or whatever, it just forces my hand to be involved, shall we say.
Up for interpretation at that point.
Correct.
Right. Going forward, are you going to make more of an effort to try to make sure that you have something? I know you said that most racetracks you do, but are you going to try to make sure that you have something at every racetrack from here on out?
Yeah. So I've already talked about it a little bit with Tony Stevens there, that does pit road media and stuff like that. That was one of the races that he happened to not be at. But,
right.
It's something that I think we talked about, running some wiring, some cabling, things like that, and just something we've got to plan and really do a little bit of work and extra and effort too. That's something that we don't mind doing and we're used to doing. So we need to get that fixed, and especially when we go back to Hickory with a throwback race and stuff like that. So, like I said, most of the places, Orange County coming up, we're right near each other, and Motor Mile same way, Dominion, all those places, Carteret, you have those things. South Boston same way. It's just good old Hickory's a little bit different. We need to go to work on.
Right. All right. Well, turning an eye toward your next race, the 30,000 to win race at Orange County Speedway. Walking around the pits, I got there late, but walking around the pits, talking to some people, and one of the things that kept coming up was about the problems with the track at Orange County, where nobody's been able to test. They had a paving company there last week. I mean, yep. I just have to ask you. I mean, is this race going to happen?
Yeah. So, this is crazy.
I love this.
And this is motorsports a little bit these days, but the dramatics and the negativity is way worse than the reality, I guess. It's like I feel there's a couple guys, not knocking them, but there's a couple guys that are regulars with us that have made that what it is, made it worse and made it the drama worse than what it is. For example, I've been there a couple of times, and actually head tech director Lightning, David Saunders, worked there yesterday, and he called me today and said, for anybody that says that Orange County hasn't done anything or this or that or what, it can't be in as good a shape as it is. I talked to him today. He's like, the place is great. Grass is cut, walls are painted, places are patched. They said they did it, which is what needs to be done to the place. Anyways, you need to patch. When a track comes apart, you need to fix it. He said it looks great. Walls are painted. They're finishing up the suite. That's been being worked on. It's, he's like, it's in really, really good shape, actually. And it's something that couldn't have been done in 3 or 4 days. They have been working on it.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely. Races happening, isn't that? Yeah, the only way to make sure that those, places and patches and stuff like that are going to work is to get cars on them. With that being said, the weather hasn't been greatest, as it's raining again here today.
Right.
But I think everything's good to go. They're going to have starting testing on Saturday and run the whole week of. And really, at the end of the day, that should be enough. We talk about saving money and this and that, and what gets brought up is testing. Having a week leading up to the race, that should be enough testing. Plus, if you look at the event schedule, I think there's more than enough practice and testing from when we're sanctioning it.
I agree.
How much time do you really need? We're excited about ticket sales. It doubled for over the weekend online, so ticket sales are really going good. I think we're going to see a lot more entries. We're at 33 right now. I know some folks are, you're going to have 70, 80, cars. That was never in our realm of reality. If we can get 45 to 50, that's a win. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask you. What do you? I mean, you're getting some feedback, right? Where are you at? What do you think your total numbers are going to be?
I think, and two, I'm doing the job that I'm supposed to do. I'm
Sure.
calling the Peyton Sellers camp earlier this week. I'm
Nice.
calling this guy.
Yeah.
I'm calling these people. Hey, you come and what's your deal? Peyton. Yeah, I'm working. That's my plan, is to make my car store debut at this race. Bruce Anderson out of my shop. He's coming. Talking to Chad McCumbee and his group down there. Yeah, I think we're going to have one. We're trying to make it work. So that's the thing that I think we'll reach that 45 mark. I really, like I said, we've got 33 now, so we're 12 away really at the end of the day. Tommy Lemons, he's not entered, he'll be there.
Right.
So we're going to
You got
have
leverage over him. He's going to make it one way or the other.
Yeah, we're going to have a good quality car count. I don't think it's going to be those 80, 70 or 80 plus Martinsville count, but we're going to have a good quality, good car count, and a good, the best drivers in. And you can, use this quote or whatever, and take it for what it's worth, and people may hate me or love me, but you cannot be considered one of the best late model stock drivers right now if you're not at this race, and I believe that 100%. Just the quality drive. Like I said, Lee Pulley. I mean, he doesn't get to race. He's not going to get to race with us, but once, and it's this race. So I just think that the quality is going to be there. We're not going to have 80, but those 45 still trying to make for 28 spots are going to have their work cut out for them.
I mean, is that you trying to call Philip Morris out of the weeds or what?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Well, I mean, not just anyone. If you're a track champion somewhere, if you're a state champion, and if you're doing, we want, these weekly. I love having Tyler Matthews on the tour.
Right.
Multi-time track champion. That's awesome.
Right.
That's what we want. That's what the tour is about, And if you look around the schedules, with the exception of 2 or 3 places, most tracks are shut down, aren't racing that weekend. So there's really, not a big reason why they can't be there, no one in particular. Just we want the best. We want those people. We want those people that are the top of the game and get talked about, whether it's on a national championship with Philip or the track champion at Langley or whatever, that we want you guys there,
Right. Right.
And that's what it's about. That's what this race is about,
Right. I mean, I think for you guys, if you have 40, 45 cars, I think that's a really good start. I mean,
a great start.
I know that, when we had Jack on the show, he really wanted to get to 60, and I'm sure that's the goal. But at the end of the day, if you have 40, 45 cars and they're, 35 of them can, have a chance to win, that's all you could ever really ask for.
Absolutely. And once again, there's 80 plus at Martinsville, but 40 start, 43 start. I'm going to have 45 and 28 are going to start.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. I think this is a good start. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, what I tell people, we need 45 cars too, so this can be an annual thing. You know what I mean? We don't want to. We didn't do this for a one-time thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So is 45 the number that you need to get to in order to have this race again?
I think so. I think 45 and fans in the stands. 40.
I don't think you're going to have a problem with fans in the stands.
No, I don't either.
Well, it's as you guys know, I could be a little bit biased, but that Orange County puts on just some phenomenal racing.
Absolutely.
Top, bottom, wherever you want to go, you can go. So, the reason that it always has a great car count or a good fan count is because of the show. So,
right.
If fans out there, if you haven't been into Orange County, and if it's a couple-hour drive or whatever, 3-hour drive, it's worth it. I can promise you that.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I seen on the Cars Tour Twitter today a mention about Elliott Sadler. Is there any truth to that, or are y'all just trying to draw him out?
You hear stuff. There's another person that actually ran Cup last year that heard this weekend and talked a little bit about with him today about it. That if they can get a few things done, they'll be there. So I don't know. We'll see. We've got till next Tuesday to get that entry deadline in, and so what is cool, I think, in the next 7 days or so, we should get a flurry of entries. I'm sure you guys will know even before us on who's there on Saturday testing or this and that or whatever. So you guys do an excellent job of really being a good news source and hitting the beat of what's going on. So I don't know. We'll see. I hear all kinds of names and rumors and stuff like that, but they're exactly that until they file that entry and show up.
Yeah, I imagine in the late model stock car world, especially since nobody's really required them until you guys have, doing, when you still don't even really require it to, just, it's a discount, for entering early. But, I'm sure it's hard to get those guys to go very early.
Yeah. It's late model stocks do even better. You wouldn't believe my email on Monday and Tuesday when it's a super late model. I bet we get 80% of our entries for a super late model race within about 5 hours of the deadline.
Wow.
It's the funniest thing in the world.
Wow.
Late model stocks do a little bit better job, but we won't know until this week, and I would imagine there'll be some guys that maybe go and try to test a little bit on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and then say, okay, I'm good, and let's do this. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it sounds like I may need to send somebody to Orange County Saturday to find out who's going to be over there testing, especially if that's the first day out. I imagine there'll be quite a few cars over there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And like I said, that's, I know there's other tracks racing, nearby, so, guys can test a little bit, and you guys can have someone there, and then hit coverage wherever you may be after that.
Right, for sure. All right, man, tell everybody where they can find out all the information about this race. Just give them Facebook and all that good stuff.
Yeah, like I said, if you go to our website, is probably the best source, carsracingtour.com. You can go on the schedule right there on the front page. We have banners, ads of it, that's where it's got the event schedule. Got the complete, full, detailed event schedule right there. It's got the link to buy tickets, and so that's got everything there. And also, it actually already has the pre-entry list that we have so far. We'll be updating that as we can. This will be a race where we won't just wait till Tuesday. We'll probably do another update here at the end of this week, and then so we'll be updating that. So just head to our website, carsracingtour.com. Our Facebook page and our Twitter and Instagram, we're pretty big on that. And the folks, if you are coming in, there's a couple hotels that are giving fans an excellent discount rate. They're in Orange County. They're in Hillsborough, probably the closest place to the track there at the Microtel there in Hillsborough, and the Holiday Inn Express. So those are places that are starting to fill up, and just come out, enjoy camp, come to races, and I think we're going to have a heck of a race. And I think Saturday with qualifying and the qualifying races, that's been some of the question too. Just with you guys and telling the fans, the top 5 will be locked in on time, and then everybody else will run their 30-lap qualifying races to race their way into the show, with the last chance race there Saturday night, and then just the big race there on Sunday.
How big's the party going to be on Saturday night?
Well, I know we're doing one Friday. We're doing one Friday in downtown Hillsborough. We've got a lot of bars and restaurants and stuff like that. We'll be giving away some free tickets there in Hillsborough. So we got a party at about 4 or 5 different locations there, all the 2012 drivers. So I can promise you there will be one Friday. I like to have a good time at the races, both on and off the track. So I'm sure both Friday and Saturday can be arranged.
Yeah, looking forward to that for sure. I may have to go to Anderson Motor Speedway that Friday night and come back up there on Saturday.
Okay.
So hopefully I don't miss all the party.
No.
I bet old Hill, he's already started partying right now.
If you've been to Orange County and the Ronald Hill group, they have a gauntlet full, and they usually pay a DJ or pay a band all on their own. He treats his sponsors good. And it is, and they got 3 days of doing it. So Thomas is right. He's seen it before. That Hill gang, they'll probably have 15, 20 RVs lined up in the line to walk.
Thomas don't miss out on a party.
Well,
neither does Chris.
Me and Chris never go to the same party though.
Probably not.
Wow. All right, man. Well, you have a good night, and we appreciate you coming on with us. Look forward to seeing you at Orange County.
Guys.
All right, that was Chris Regal from the Car Store joining us right there. Man, you got to love the guy's honesty, his candor about making a mistake and just admitting up to it. You know?
I mean, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I'd be pissed still,
Right,
but
sure.
I applaud the guy coming out and saying, "Hey, listen,
Oh
I
yeah,
missed it."
the Setzer fan in me's
Right.
really pissed off. But,
Right.
I mean, he can't do anything at this point. You just
Right.
say, man, I screwed up. Bubba won. He got the check.
So wait,
We'll go to the next
We've
one.
established that you're
Man,
a
I'm from
Setzer fan.
I'm from
A
Hickory.
Kraft fan.
I'm from Hickory,
Philip
man. You
Morris,
got to be
Philip
a
Morris ain't from
Setzer-
Hickory. Okay.
So that's because he's the king, man. You can't,
Okay.
you can't hate on Philip at all.
Robert Kraft ain't from Hickory.
Well, he's
Nowhere
just-
near Hickory.
Well, he got Tom Brady. That's all you need to know.
He also got
Tom
a rub
Brady's
and
made me
tug,
a
okay?
lot of money.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you.
The man's old.
He got a
You
few
can't.
things.
He was allowed. Listen, he's not married. He was
yeah,
allowed.
Yeah, man. Don't be hating on him because he wins every freaking Super Bowl. Man's happy.
Hey, I just want Thomas to get comfortable here.
I'm
Look at this.
I don't think he can
I
get
just
any
got a
more
picture of
comfortable.
that. It's going up right
We're
now.
gonna get him a recliner here or something next time.
He looks like a damn peacock over there.
He does.
That hair, though. That hair, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got hair for radio.
That's
for sure.
right. Got
Wow.
a face for one, everything.
I'm glad we got video of this.
Oh Lord.
We're gonna use
ain't
this against you
Good.
forever.
Yeah, it's all right. You used
like
the
a
blooming onion
turkey.
thing.
Speaking of going viral,
Right.
Yeah.
Steve Murray said, talking about the Orange County race, Corey, he said that you've already got your coolers packed. So he knows you'll be there for the parties.
Yeah, I'm gonna camp out that weekend.
With Ronald Hill.
I hope
I'm
so.
gonna camp near Ronald Hill.
You're going to be.
I can't hang with Ronald
I was
Hill.
getting ready to
know
say
that
that's a
there's-
rough one.
Listen, I don't know that there's many beside the 4 or 5 people that he comes to
Right,
the racetrack with
right.
that can hang
The-
with
those
Ronald
Gardner
Hill.
Marsh people, they can
100%,
hang
like,
with him.
I got no shot. He asked me, come out to the motorhome. We'll have a beer. Cool. I go out there. I'm like, I have 1 beer. These dudes are through a 6-pack. I'm like, shit.
Each,
This is getting ready to get interesting, right? I'm thinking, should I do another? Yeah, I'll do another. Now we're down 12. I'm like, holy, this is getting real. And they're not like nothing.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
nothing has happened.
Matt Brooks camped out beside him at Martinsville. I said, "What do you think about that?" He said, "Oh, it's like 8:30 in the morning, man. No, I just can't do it."
You ain't gonna. Not many can run with them boys.
Nah, fun times though,
They
man.
have a good time. That's
Yeah.
good for them. I applaud him.
Yeah.
I applaud him. I actually
I mean,
talked
he
to
has
him
a
today.
good time.
You gotta applaud what he's doing.
I still ain't got over this guy over here, man.
This
He's
guy.
just
You don't have
comfortable
me a
as
nice
can be.
chair, so I have to sit in this thing.
Hey, that is a comfortable
It
chair.
is a comfortable
I
chair.
use those to go fishing. So.
Oh yeah, it's nice. It's better than the chair I was in.
Right. I'm taking those with me today too. I gotta go
Oh.
fishing at some point or not. Coming up here. I mean, and it's time. It's time.
Most,
Feels
pe-
good
most people
outside.
stand to fish, but you know.
Yeah. Well, when you don't catch anything, you got to.
Yeah, exactly. As little as I catch, I just sit there and look on my phone and talk to people. I mean,
It's time for fishing.
what the hell else am I gonna do?
So you going for both days in Orange County?
You mean 3 days?
I mean 3 days.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
what,
think-
Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I
No,
think
it's
Friday, Saturday, and
Sunday.
Sunday.
Is the race Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, the race is
Yeah.
Sunday. Oh.
I think I'll be
You
at
don't have to work.
Anderson on that
No,
Friday
I
night.
don't.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I think I'll be at Anderson on that Friday night, and then I'm coming to Orange County Saturday. So
Hmm.
I think that's the plan as of right now. I mean,
I have to see if no Ace don't race. Ace races this weekend.
Yep,
this
they race
Friday
this
night.
weekend. No, almost Anderson and Dominion. I think is the only 2 racetracks that run next weekend against the Car Store deal. Hickory doesn't
Hickory
run.
does.
They do run. Okay, so that's 2. So
Hickory runs every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah,
well, I
Be
thought
there.
maybe this was one of their special shows or something.
No.
You know, audio or something. I'm not really sure.
Let's
James,
see.
James Randolph chiming in, asking a question to Chris about where he sees the Car Store in 5 years. He's already off the air, but where do we see it in 5 years? We see it, being really strong. I mean, it's really strong right now, and I can't see it going downhill. I mean, it's getting
As long as
more
we
and
keep
more
cars
leverage.
around. You
Right,
know?
for sure, and they're doing a
Yeah,
good
but
job.
what do you think's going to lead to that? Are you worried about the crashing? Is that what you're saying?
No, just the rules. I know the car store's got their own rules, but we need to bring. Of course they're wanting to bring new people in all the time.
Yeah, but from the look of
But,
it right now,
if you don't have people coming up through the ranks to do nothing, they're not going to be there.
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have them there to get over to them.
Yeah, but the local tracks aren't looking very strong right now.
No.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
let's-
That's what I'm
let's look at
saying.
Some of the numbers,
Right, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still
that-
early. I'll give it to you. I'll give everybody wants to play it still
Well,
early.
it's not. It's not. I'm not even saying that. I just think that has no bearing on the Car Store.
The local.
Their whole game right now is
The local
totally
track?
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, the same people is going to run it. It's going to run it.
Right.
No matter.
I mean,
what.
when they go to a track, they're going to pick up if they went to Kingsport, they would pick up Chris Van Dyke and Derek Lancaster and people like that. But
Yeah.
I don't think Jesus. Lloyd Garner, he said that he wanted to see if Thomas has a decent car to put Corey Latham in. He wants to get Corey in a car ASAP. He says he's going to pay you $500. I can't remember what the stipulations are here.
I can find you a car.
Well, he told me Saturday. Listen.
Oh, I talked to him Saturday.
No, but Saturday
don't
after
worry.
the race, I was talking to him, and he said he told you about it.
Yeah.
And he told me, I said, man, he said he went to Buck Baker. He said, well, we're going to find out how damn good Buck Baker is.
That's good times there.
Right.
Yeah.
Lloyd is always a good time too. So he's a good
He's always
dude.
got something to say.
Oh, his mouth never stops running. That's for sure. That's what I asked him after. I can't repeat what I asked him after the race, but fun times either way.
I can't repeat half the crap we talk about.
If you guys have any questions, I know there's quite a few of you listening out there. If you got any questions or anything, chime in now. Luke Sorrow had asked a question earlier, wanted to know how many Harringtons we had heard of blowing up or breaking. Thomas probably can tell us more about that.
I've probably heard a few, maybe 5 in the last couple of years. It's kind of hard. I mean, there's been people who I know. Justin Carroll blew up on one last year.
What broke on it?
I think a rod, but he might can tell us. I think it was a rod.
he's on here. So.
But I heard I can't remember who it was. Somebody blew one up like a week or two ago, but it was somebody I didn't really know. So,
got you.
It's just one of those things that we're turning them pretty hard, so things are gonna break.
Yeah, I believe Luke broke one Friday night in qualifying, sat on the pole, and broke his motor at the same time, which was a very interesting scenario.
Torquing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went.
How many RPMs were you turning?
Yeah, there you go, Luke. That's what we want to know. How many RPMs were you turning the other night? But went and got another car. And pulled that thing in right before the race was supposed to start. So the racetrack pushed the race back one race, which was really good.
I thought it was cool.
Nice
Gave him a chance. Yep.
Yeah,
I know, fans, they try to make a big deal out of something like that.
Yeah.
One of them got confused. One thought it was the 9 car because the 9 car won. And he's the 9 car, and thought it was the same. And I was looking out and helping. It's just man, racetracks have got to do what they've got to do.
How can we only have 5 race cars and all of them are number 9? That's my question. That drives me absolutely crazy.
When we go to Martinsville, we got 17 12s.
Yeah,
okay.
it's so confusing. Like, guys, just put some tape over your number. It'll be fine.
Right.
Come on, people.
He's in favor of duct tape.
Right.
That's what we
look at him.
Martinsville duct tape. Yeah, look at him.
Timothy Peters, after that story this year, he looked at me, he said, duct tape. We got all this many cars, we're going to put duct tape on in front of the biggest race on TV and everything.
I mean, it's not really
he was
that.
Really against the duct tape.
I mean, weekly racing, you know the weekly guys. Like, if you have 2 weekly guys that have the same number, one of you guys need to change your number.
Right.
Like, it's just confusing for everybody. Mostly when you both have similar looking cars.
Yeah.
Like
2 black cars. Yeah.
Like, you went to Hickory the other year, and there was like 4 black 12s.
Right.
Like, who's in who? Like, you hear the announcer up there, he doesn't even know the difference.
Thomas was just trying to figure out who he's supposed to hit.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
He couldn't remember which one was
I just
which.
hit them all. It was fine.
Make it even.
Oh, man. Wow.
I apologize.
Let's get to that right
Here's
there.
a good question.
Good question.
Debbie Bowen wants to know how the combined classes at Greenville went. Well, they combined 2 classes that one averaged 15 last year and the other averaged 7 last year, and they combined them. You would think that would be 22, but instead we had 11.
Well,
so
I mean, Greenville's weird because I went down there twice last year. First time I went down there was 18,
right,
and which is good field no matter where you go.
Oh, sure,
right.
And then the next time I go
4.
back, and there was 8. But I mean, how do
there
you
was
have,
only 4 racing because the other 4 were,
Yeah. How many cars did they have that first race? 8 or 9?
No.
Well, the limited race they had, 17 maybe, 15, 17, something. What was it? I can't remember for sure. Yeah, was it 17? And then the late models had 3, and then ended up being 5 as they put 2 of the other guys in there with them. So, did it go better or worse than the first race? I don't really know how to judge that. So.
I mean, that first one, they was all there for that money thing. But,
But I think here's the thing. Here's the bad thing for this situation. If you're a limited guy, the finishing order, they had 3 late models in the field, and 3 late models finished 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So that's not a good situation.
No.
Nope.
So I don't know. I don't know what they need to do. I don't know if this will work out for them.
But I think we got to go. We got to gather more data, though.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. We haven't gathered.
I mean, that's the thing
yet.
about those guys who I don't know why you wouldn't go back if you were a limited car. Like, what's the big deal? You're running the exact same kind of race car. Just go back. I mean, it's probably the people who didn't go back went from running 10th to probably hit their win
people
running
are
15th.
scared early, right?
They
like
are.
you gotta. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You gotta let some of it work out because a lot of people don't go not knowing, hey, it's early in the season. If this is a train wreck, I don't want to crash my stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, I understand that, but
give it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know, man. I hope the best for Greenville. I know Anthony's trying really hard,
He is trying.
I know there's some issues there. And
what do you think about the crowd? This is off topic. What do you think about the crowd at Hickory?
I thought it was about normal for the first.
Did you?
race.
I thought it was a little down. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I thought
it's cold.
it was cool, but I was surprised. I thought Cars Tour usually tries to jam them in there. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, they didn't do very much promotion for this race. They're really busy with this 30,000 to win race, and I think that's another reason why I asked him about did he think it was a mistake. I do think it was a mistake. I think he shouldn't have run that race. Carnage aside, it doesn't even matter. I think they haven't been able to put the effort into it. I mean, if you go back and look on their Facebook page, the majority of posts leading into last weekend's race was about the 30,000 to win race at Orange County. So how are you going to get fans to go when you're promoting another race? So I think that's.
But at least the track was doing it.
The track did a great job.
Social media.
They did. They did a great
I mean,
job.
I knew Setzer was there, right there at me. I mean, I was excited.
Hey,
Come on, man. You got to be a Setzer fan. That's like half the fan base there.
Jesus.
Come on. If you're not, you're going to get the crap kicked out of you.
Hey, can you stand up?
Brandon's back's hurting because he's riding on top of his head.
His knees
I'm trying to get some of those Setzer followers. They need to come support me.
Well, you need to paint your car up like
I was thinking about it. But
Romeo Guest on it.
Right.
I'll work on it.
Lloyd Garner.
It's a waste of time.
Come on, man. He wants you. He
doesn't want to do it.
You know,
he wants to give you $500.
Corey said he's scared.
Tell us why. Tell us why this happened.
Because I said something about Derek Cope's daughter driving a stupid car or something, and I guess I put her down or something. I mean, whatever. We've done tried that one time. It didn't work. So
right. Yeah.
I
got no comments there. So
whatever.
I'll leave that one alone.
Whatever.
All right. What else? What do we got on the chat?
Everybody's got opinions.
Debbie Bowen said that she thought it was a little down for the Car Store race. Yeah, so
just a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't noticeable bad. I don't think.
I didn't think it was bad. I mean, and this is the earliest they've ever had it, so
I don't think they was going to match the throwback.
Well, no, they'll never do that. That's their big cash cow.
I think that's kind of what people were thinking.
Yeah.
Because the last time the tour was there, how many people were there?
All right, so here's a question. Since we've seen and we've all touched a little bit here, the last little bit on the maybe some of the shortcomings of the local track. We think the Cars Tour in this group of super highly educated people.
Where they at?
Right. This being a smart aleck, but
I'm out.
We think the Cars Tour's got a good follow, right? And then I think in general, most people that are listening probably think that the Cars Tour has a decent bit of momentum. So our thoughts as a collective group of racers on the short track thing. I mean, we're seeing them struggle early here.
Right.
Almost all of them.
Right.
Hickory, I guess, didn't struggle, but didn't knock it out of the park either, right?
But will they struggle?
Correct.
There's
right.
Car Store guys there.
But how do we go there?
Well, speaking of that, East Carolina opened up this weekend. They had 6 cars. They
every track it is really bad this year.
Right.
I mean, it's really. I've never seen it to start out a year.
And I'm not about the negative. I'm just interested in if the economy is so good. Because we think it is, right? If the
I don't think so.
I don't necessarily think it is as great
as
everybody's
working.
Thinks,
I don't know if they're making it,
right? But, I'm interested. We have to have some feeder at a local track to be able to shoot these guys to the Cars Tour in a year.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. I'm trying to bring you back in here. How do we help the local guy? Where do we help the local guy? What's the advice for the local track, Langley Austin?
I mean, they got to make it affordable. It's not affordable right now. It's not affordable to go racing, period. Right now, when you got to, how much do you think you have in
this
your car?
Guy? Wait, this guy's awesome about numbers. Watch this.
Okay.
What do you think you have in your car?
What I have in my race car?
Yep.
I'd say probably $40,000.
So how do we sell people on getting into a division that let's say that's the barrier to entry? Let's say it's $40,000.
I mean,
how do we sell a guy on that?
So the thing that gets me is it's not really the $40,000 is not. I mean, $40,000 is a big number.
Sure.
And it's hard to get in. And I have a. You can go if you want to go run a late
model.
We heard about the junk you started in last week.
Oh, good Lord!
Michael Falk told us all about that.
Yeah, you
get
guys
a technic shot right now.
Hey man,
well, we didn't say a word because we didn't know.
Yeah. I did.
Well, yeah,
It was
Roger
bad.
did.
Roger threw you under the
It
bus.
was bad. We talked about it
Yeah.
after the show.
Yeah,
It
I
was
talked
He
bad.
gave you a free
Friday.
T-shirt after
Yeah.
that.
I
I
wanted
appreciate
people to
it.
know how bad
Yeah.
that thing was.
Yeah, it was not
bad.
It wasn't up to par to run late model.
No.
It just was a digression over time. But the thing is there's so many late model cars out there right now because people are wanting out. You can go buy one cheaper than $40,000.
Agreed.
Okay, so
It's pretty
then,
easy.
Then what's the barrier to entry?
What it-
Yeah,
what-
how
do
come
you gotta
people
have?
aren't buying them and racing them?
I don't know.
What do you got to have money-wise right now in order to go racing and be competitive?
If you want to go be competitive, you need to. It costs me for me to go to the racetrack to run at Hickory every week. It's cost me $1,000.
How much does it pay to win?
It pays $1,200 if you win both.
See, that's the thing.
Hey,
Hey,
you win
hey,
both.
Hey, kid, here's
Yeah.
a car for $40,000. How much does it cost
Yeah.
to get in? $1,500. How much you
And
win?
that's-
$800. That
and
sounds
that's-
like a deal.
But did you know?
You know?
And that's where I think they're hurting people because the guy who goes down to the corner and he's not going to have a $40,000 race car. He might have a $5,000 race car, but he can't go have fun and tell all his buddies that he drives a race car because he can't afford to do it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that was the thing I like about. I think that's where Kingsport was so good is because they were able to have that guy. He wasn't ever. He was there to have fun, and he wanted to tell his buddies he raced late model.
Right.
And he
just
raced late
yeah,
model.
and he raced late model. He didn't spend. He spent probably $100 to come to the racetrack, and that was a car. He probably lost $100 that week.
Yeah.
And that's the thing right now. I mean, I don't know what everybody around this table makes, but $1,000 is a lot of
Nothing.
money. Yeah, I mean, $1,000.
I'll kill a man.
I bet you would. God, Roger, you better watch out.
His eyes got red and everything. Holy cow!
I mean, I think that's where you're losing people is because that's why limited's so big is because you can go run limited for it.
But it's
but-
I've always said the
that's-
guy running 12
that's-
is just as
But wait,
important as
hold
the
on.
guy.
Greenville says otherwise.
Yeah,
because
well-
the numbers didn't say
well,
that.
see, that's the problem with limited is you've got to the point where there's so many people who all these late model teams decided, oh, we can't win a late model race, we may go win a limited race, and that limited got really big during that time. That's pretty much what happened.
Right.
And then limited got so big, so the back half they're like, well, we're gonna run 20th. Why do we want to show up and run 20th? It's still costing me $300 to go run limited. Why do I want to do that? We're not the main show.
Right.
Nobody really. It's just one of those things that I really think limited is the limited box is open, so it's impossible to get it closed back. But that was kind of the handwriting on the wall.
Right. I totally agree.
There's no reason you should have two divisions. You can't tell the difference between.
No.
Because the other year at Hickory, there was people who were changing carburetors and running both races.
Yes, there were. I remember.
That shouldn't happen. And that's another thing is why do we have however many classes at the racetrack running within a second of each other? Like if you go to Hickory, the freaking street stock race ran a 1590 or something the other week. When I started racing at Hickory, that was a limited pole. Like
Right.
how we just got everybody going so fast. They all run the same speed.
Sealer.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
the street stocks are still going to be. I mean, it's still fast. It's not like we went from running when I started over there. Like a street stock pole was like 1750 or something.
Yeah.
Now it's a 15 something. Like that's crazy.
The Super was 1420 the other
Yeah.
day. That's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but think should a street stock be within 2 seconds of a super?
Depends on if Gary Ledbetter's driving or
Well,
something. I don't know.
I mean, he's a wheel man.
Senior or junior.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah, but I think
I mean,
we're all,
but you
yeah.
can tell the difference between those cars,
You can.
though. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
and
can tell
they
difference, but
drive
you can't-
completely different,
but,
you know.
But you can't in the limit. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's all kind of the same thing. It's not a.
I think the whole thing you're talking about, you know, you got a guy running 20th. Now, make it fun for him.
Yeah,
You know, like there's certain
bring him
tracks that
back.
I always said there's only 3 or 4 cars that go to a racetrack that know they can win the races.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys are there to have fun. They're there to enjoy a hobby and have fun. Make them feel wanted and
Yeah.
somehow
And
make it a little bit affordable for
and
them.
I think I don't know if it's social media or something, but people don't want like. There's people when I remember when I was little, there was people who went to the racetrack and they were
3 years ago.
I'm an old man. Calm down. I have a beard.
Hey, wait. So does my damn nephew,
I was just
14
gonna
years
say-
old, and he's got a hell of a mustache. Okay.
I went to a lacrosse tournament on Sunday of 12-year-old kids that had facial hair like that, just so we're completely clear. Right? They put their
Wow.
cigarettes out when they get off the bus. right?
Wow.
Put their cigarette on their arm,
Right.
and then start playing
It was
lacrosse.
junior high lacrosse. My kid got his tooth knocked out.
Oh.
This dude, I was so proud. Proud dad moment right
Did
there.
that really happen?
Yeah, it was
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. He got his tooth knocked out. We've made it now. It's made it.
Nice.
Right now you're like, yeah. And his
Dick
kids are getting
scars.
off the bus, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even say anything. Right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right, let's go. It was great.
So I mean, you had these people who kind of like they had no chance of winning, but for some reason they came back every week. And those people they were doing it for pretty much nothing. Those people were probably actually making money because they weren't spending a dime to get there, and they were getting the entry money.
Yeah.
So they were probably like, I know a guy that when they run they still run Pro 4, but he made money and he ran in the back every week, but he never paid. All he
Right.
did was pay for his
There's a
pit
couple of
pass,
guys at
and he
Greenville.
made money. And that's the reason he came back, because he made at the end of the year he made $500, and he had a good time. And now you can't do that.
Right. So how do we fix it?
I don't.
Yeah.
2 tires.
2 tires.
come
Does
on.
2 tires fix it?
2 tires.
No.
After all that, you come up with 2 tires.
I mean, that's
Right.
only
You guys-
$340 in savings or something like that.
I mean, if I think it'd make a difference, but I don't think that's the whole difference. I mean, there's some other things that need to happen, but
I made a list last week
I know
on somebody
I know
asked me
to
on
me
a post.
that would be a big thing to me.
Yeah, somebody asked me on a post last week, and I made a list. 602 engines. I mean,
I disagree.
The price stands for itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Price and durability. If you don't let them cheat them up, you're golden.
But they will.
Well, you don't let them. You make them throwaways. You
Okay.
hey, throw them away. Gone. They're gone. That's what dirt racing's doing, and it is fixing the problem that they've had. They've just made 602s.
I'd like to see it
throwaways.
happening there,
but anyways, 602s, get the damn cars up off the ground. You know,
I could
eliminate all this trick suspension stuff. Very easy to do. Use the rules in your favor.
You know what?
That Wheelman series in Florida has a really good set of rules. They're like outlaw-looking
Hold on.
cars. Use outlaw
Yeah,
bodies.
but how about somebody like make a product that we want to watch?
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like, right? I kind of
The only way you're gonna
and
get
I'm
to
not
that is
kissing
when you get
Raggles'
people
ass
out there.
either, but I kind of like that Raggles doing some of the things that you and I have talked about a couple times lately in the past. Of, you know, he's throwing it out there. Hey, come race with me, guys.
Yeah.
He's trying to flush them, right? He's trying to flush them out
Right.
of the weeds.
He is.
And I love it, right? He's doing it in his backhanded kind of way, where he's not going to call you completely out, but he's going to. And I think that's what we need, right? Like if we don't start telling some kind of a story,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, but why are we're still talking about Philip Morris?
Yeah.
Right? Not that he's not relevant.
I mean, he spends all his time
No,
talking about
I know that, and I'm not meaning that he's. You know, I mean, he is the man. That's not. I'm not what
Right.
I'm saying.
Sure.
I'm just saying he's got a following. He's got a draw. People want him to go to the racetrack
Right.
so they can go follow him. The problem is that there's not, in my opinion, enough of a show made at the racetrack to get somebody to come back. There's not enough of a like. The only thing I applaud everything that the Cars Tour is doing. I think they're doing a lot of things great. Well, maybe not everything, but like the driver intros are still.
So you think
absolutely
like
horrible.
a first-time fan, you like to see a first-time fan go to race and say, you know, that was awesome. I'm going to come
I
back
want
and see it again.
I want them to act like the person sitting in the stands has ever been to a race before in their life.
Right.
Has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Because if they can get them hooked in, that's what got most of us hooked in as little kids or
Yeah.
whatever else. It was the shock and awe and learning about
Right.
what was happening and these things. Oh my gosh, all this. And I would like to see some of that gotten back to. I think we play that the person in the stands has all this knowledge of what's happening because of TV and social and blah blah blah. And I really don't think that they do. I don't think they get as much information as you want. I think they want to find a guy like Thomas Beane. We're going to get to see the data for this deal, the Cars Tour, where you can go online and pay money for your driver. I'm intrigued to see how that goes out.
I mean that's
I think
like
that's
when I heard
great.
it the first time, I was like, "What is he talking about?" Then I was like,
That was kind of a thing they adopted from Dirt. The
Right.
Dirt Million last year. Cody Summers used to race late model stocks. Actually, I believe he used to run a PRW car. Back in the day, it wasn't a PRW. It was probably
Back
one
in
of
the
those
day.
LTOs, like on his.
How
his
about
shirt
that
over
throwback
there.
shirt, right? Corey come walking in with a 15-year-old shirt. It was awesome.
Right. But you know, he promotes up there.
I can't wear a shirt from 2 months ago. Good job, Corey.
Because he does laundry.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm just saying. I didn't mean right, Corey. You do laundry.
I wash my clothes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't know.
2 or 3 times a week.
Wow. That was over your head.
I know.
But
I love Doc.
Anyways, he did the Dirt Million and basically, had fans contribute to the purse. Basically, they could go on and buy different things, and like they did a little differently than the car store's doing. But I mean, it really worked. I mean, and I think getting people involved like that is the way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I mean, I think people want to be involved. Number one, and I think number two, they just got to make an effort to go in that direction. But you was talking earlier about
Greg said it was a Marlowe.
About the
Greg.
well, actually it was.
Yeah, he fired on there.
It was. Well, Marlowe.
Wiley veterans.
Listen,
it's all the same.
Listen,
I'm cool with it.
Listen, Marlowe, LTO, PRW. It's all junk. It doesn't make a difference.
God.
So,
No, thank you.
Whatever.
Remember, he said he's not that far away.
Yeah, he's really close.
And Langley's racing schedule just drastically changed. His season's over.
Wherever Greg is, I'm not going.
If Greg gets him, he
Yes.
is. Yeah.
No, he's right though. It wasn't Marlowe. He's 100%. But it's all intermingled in my head. Here,
Should
so.
be. There's a lot bouncing around in there.
Yeah, got a lot of room.
There's going to be a lot of bouncing around when Greg sees.
Right. But we was talking about the rules. That Wheelman Series, the ACT Tour that'll be at Richmond with the Pass Series this weekend. They got an exceptional set of rules. And Madera with their late models, they do the junior late model thing.
Dude, I saw that on TV the other day. And that was
stuff.
Those kids get it on.
Oh, they do.
They get it on.
Indiana's going to start doing some deal.
Yeah.
I think I read up there.
And that is a badass racetrack. I love that
It's something
track.
that this area right here
Madera.
could be way bigger. And I do mean way bigger than any of those. Whoops.
Yeah, but I don't know. Will it go? Will Humpy let it go?
Nobody needs him.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he controls that legend car deal.
Well,
and
he
that's
don't do anything.
Well,
Humpy's no longer involved with any of that. But I get your point.
Right.
But listen.
The weight of
They-
Humpy.
listen,
Guess
listen.
where I was.
Listen, they have nothing. You know what I mean? As soon as somebody comes in with a product where these kids can race, that's where they're going.
These kids now, they want to get the cup. And why do they want to spend time in a Legends car?
Why waste your time?
Yeah, if you could.
Yeah, but don't you
that's
think
the same
that they
thing
think like, why do I spend time in a late model stock too?
Exactly.
I mean, because I
But
think
they're
that's
going to
kind of.
They're going to go to the biggest step they can.
Right,
but they
the
can't go
youngest
any
age.
past that right
Right,
now.
but isn't that essentially what the Gray kid did with Lee Falk Racing? I mean, that kid run limited. What he could run was
Until he got
phenomenally
that-
good, right? Like, didn't have much experience. Yeah. They tested the dog crap out of him. They went out there. They were out there all the time testing. Then at the end of the year, he's like, well, I'm going to bail because I got to go somewhere where I can K&N race in 5 months from now. Yeah. He goes and runs for somebody else and runs third. We know the equipment didn't suck because the other equipment runs third, right? Yeah. And so I find that intriguing. I don't.
Yeah, they're looking for how they're going to make that step. It's
right.
not. It has nothing to do with. It's how can I make my step fastest. And the problem is you're having to get younger. So you've got to be able to make that step.
So Thomas, is the one thing, in your opinion, is the only thing that differentiates you? I'm going to ask you this. I honestly don't know the answer, and I talk to you a lot. Is the only thing that differentiates you from a guy like maybe not Josh Berry, but let's pick somebody. Krez is good too, right? Like let's stay out of the. Let's say some guys in the middle, right? Like, do you think that money is the only thing that separates you from just destroying them every week? You think if you could put another set of tires on every week, you could run right there?
I don't,
because you've made huge leaps, right?
So I don't.
What's equaled your huge leaps?
So I do not think that it is the tires. It's the knowledge of understanding. Because it's not like I can't go to.
So it's not money.
It's not. It's. But the problem is at this point to get that knowledge, it costs money.
Money buys knowledge.
Yeah, money buys knowledge.
So you're saying
because I don't have Timothy Peters over here to put my car together.
So how, as a chassis builder, right? So as your chassis builder, what could I do to help you?
Free.
Yeah, but not free, right? Like, because he knows. He knows enough, right? Like we talk business a lot. I try to help him with things, and he helps me with things, and we laugh and whatever, act like idiots, and try to make money. A lot of times bet on things that we shouldn't think will make money, that we make money on. And I'm intrigued as to where that comes from. Where does a guy like you figure out, okay, I've reached this plateau. How do I get to the next one? What do I, as a chassis builder, give to you?
I mean,
how does that help?
I don't know. For a chassis builder, It's just I would like to say that if every performance center guy came in here and we said, "Oh, this is what we do that makes us great," that would help. But I'm not going to come in here and tell somebody what I'm doing to run fast. But I think it would help us all in the end. But it's not.
So that's what I mean.
That's
so
the only thing that we could. I think that would help me at this point. And
so you're saying more technical support.
Yeah, more technical support.
But that's what I'm interested in because it's all subjective, right? Like I get so many people that say, "Hey, should you run a 350-pound spring or a 400?" And it's kind of subjective to what you have. So I get interested in what the racer actually needs from the guys that are building the cars, whether it be Jay or Forrest or me or you know what I mean. What helps them the most?
I mean, you see it in the upper levels. Like these guys have got so much better because they talk to each other.
Right.
And
Toyota does it.
Yeah,
right?
Toyota does it. And they're the
There's
best
books right over there
Ford,
where the 5 or 6 or 7 Toyota teams you sit down and everybody would meet in the front of one truck and. Right, that was a perfect world. Now that's not going to work in late model stock, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
Do you?
no, it's not. I mean, it's possible for some people, but like sellers, they have 5 cars that go to the racetrack, so they have 5 different understanding. They have 5 different people that they're getting kind of knowledge from.
Right.
So, like when I go to the racetrack, I'm just kind of learning off what I do, and that's what is kind of one of those things that takes me so long to figure stuff out.
Right on. He looks at Langley like he wants to say something.
Yeah, I thought you were rolling right
here.
Hey,
I read in the comments, Greg Marlowe just said he's in the parking lot.
I don't believe he can't use his phone on the road. He's got a flip phone. What are you talking about?
Wow, man, because he's in the parking lot. He's about to walk
and
through the
he
door.
has keys.
Nah.
He has keys. Just so you're.
Yeah, he ain't got time for me.
I thought the door was still open.
It probably is.
Oh, my God.
Billet Spindles, Kyle Manch.
Kyle Manch has to bring those up. I think this was the first show we had avoided the entire time, and here we go, you know. Damn Spindles.
What else was we going to talk about?
Yeah, let's.
There's plenty.
Southern National.
Yeah.
There is. There's plenty to talk about there. You know, Southern National, the Southern Modifieds, 602 car counts. You know, quite low.
Quite low.
Even you know, and it's not just their.
Quite low.
It's not just their series either. It's not just the Hackett series either. They had the Carolina Mini Stock Tour there, and they had 7 cars, and I think that's the least amount of cars they've ever had at a race.
I got to tell you, I'm more scared right now than I have been in a long time. Just seeing, I'm an analytical number guy, and seeing those opening numbers.
It's not good,
right?
Man.
And I want to stay. You know, Langley and I have talked a lot about trying to keep this as positive as it can. We'll throw some zingers here and we'll throw some zingers here and try to keep it as positive as possible. But damn,
well, it's not being negative. I mean, it is what it is. Right there's the numbers.
Right, but you almost don't want to talk about it. That's rough, right there.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned East Carolina 6 cars earlier. You know, King Sports, you know, at 10. It doesn't look good, but I mean, here's the thing. I mean, and this is something that you know people say all the time. Continuing to do the same thing over and over is insanity.
No, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're past the point of insanity here. We've been doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, and it's not coming.
No, we got to do something different. We have to.
We got to change. You know, I'm gonna probably.
What do you want to do?
There's nothing I can do. You know what I mean?
I don't think me either.
Well, I mean. There's nothing I can do today, I should say, except run from Greg Marlowe because he said he's got talk to text here. So
talk to text.
God.
But
sorry, I didn't mean to horse laugh in the mic. That was good.
I mean,
was it a jitterbug phone?
That's probably what it is. It's probably what it is. Jitterbug. Wow.
Well, I'm not going there. No, I didn't say that, Greg. That was Thomas.
Yeah. Wow. Preston McGee just said to keep Mike Looney in your thoughts and prayers. His truck caught on fire and burned to the ground yesterday. He just got the family out before the back glass exploded.
Good Lord.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
So,
yeah,
definitely prayers for Mike and Becky and all of the family there.
Good people, real good people.
Absolutely, some of my favorite
awesome.
at the racetrack.
Good
for sure.
dude.
Yeah.
We had him on that radio.
Yeah.
One of the original radio
That was one
shows.
of the best. Him and Preston and
Matt Taylor.
Yeah,
the
Matt
Bring
Taylor.
It T-shirt came from there.
Yeah.
You know,
them boys put some beer away that day. Holy cow!
and Corey's liquor. Mike just turns up a bottle.
They put it down that day.
He said, "Can I have a swallow of that?" And I was like, "Well, hell, just throw it away now." I mean,
I feel
well. A swallow to him was a whole lot more than it was to you.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh wow, Jesus!
Wow, that was 10 years ago, dude.
That was a long damn time ago.
10 years ago. Can you believe that?
It was.
We were all half the men that we are now.
Yeah.
Dave Pascal bringing up a point, about racing season used to start after Easter. Martinsville was the first race in the spring, and now it's March through November, which it's actually February, and the first week of February through November, and the last week of November, that is. So it's a long season.
I mean, you think season's too long? I think it could be.
Maybe, but that's not the number one contributor.
No, not at all.
I mean, you cannot keep going at a $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 car. I mean, there's no way in the world that that we can keep going.
I don't think that's the truth.
Nobody new can come in.
I don't think the car's the problem.
I don't think the car's the problem either because it's not more.
The race day expense is the problem.
Problem.
No, I totally agree. But if you have to have a $40,000 race car, let's just say that's the number. You have to have a $40,000 race car. That limits your, you're talking about.
But then people at Lime Rock Park buy $40,000 cars and ride the same tires all year.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I mean, so I don't think that. I'm not dogging it because I'm in that car business.
Do you think I came in here and gave Roger Johnson $40,000?
No, I understand. I understand how that
happened
goes.
one time.
Man,
just one time.
I got the cash out of my car.
Just
I'll
one
bring
time.
it to you.
I mean, cheaper. Making it cheaper, period.
I mean,
cheaper, weekly cost. I mean, there's no reason that a racetrack should charge more than $25 for a pit pass. There's no reason for that. They're
just trying to survive at this point, and they're
sure.
Langley's run a racetrack. I mean, do they? I mean, can they survive with just doing a $25 pit pass?
Let me tell you, the biggest mistake I ever made was charging more than $25 for a pit pass.
I agree.
It ruined everything. It hurt my car count. It hurt the amount of pit passes I was selling.
I was at a race the other week, and it was 60.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, going up in price at
that
this
explains
point
a lot of things.
Really hurts. It just gives a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and then if you lose one race car, that's bad.
You know what the coolest thing was? It was about 3 or 4 years ago. Ron Barfield at Dillon went out and found sponsors. Instead of putting sponsors into a purse, he found a sponsor to do every one of his local drivers got a free pit pass all year. As long as you came to race with him and you were a regular, you didn't pay to get the pits all year. Yeah. And he had a bunch of daggum cars,
Right.
And I thought that was a real good deal.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you gotta do whatever you got to do. Racetracks, yes, they're in survival mode, 100%. And I mean, they'll all admit they're in survival mode. Yeah. But they got to start rethinking. They got to start thinking outside the box. Okay, we've been doing this. It's $25 or $35 or $40. So we got to do something different to bring people in.
I think. I've listened to you guys, and you talk about what's it cost to get in a late model, blah blah blah. I'm listening for weeks. The customer base for the tracks have changed on this side of the fence and in the pit side of the fence.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now you guys talking about where's these new late model racers come from? Several, many moons ago, and I think this helps the fans and it helps the racers. Drivers at the same track graduated up from class to class to class.
Don't happen anymore.
It don't happen anymore. And to me, that hurt the legend,
but
the names.
They don't have time for
it. And that's what the fans brought the fans out.
Well, those guys that don't have time for it, they're the whole problem anyways.
Yeah. I know that.
We don't, honestly.
And that's kind of what you was talking about, Thomas, earlier.
Right. I mean, they are definitely an issue to the problem.
And those people scare the local guy off because those people – because
just come in and spend money.
Yeah, you're just running for wherever those guys don't want to. Like, those guys are going to be the top half of your field.
Absolutely.
Because they got to win. They can probably cheat like heck if they want to.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, they're just trying to
get
a resume.
There's no way to stop it, though. It is what it is. I mean, I'm at the racetrack this weekend. This is a late model race, and I'm looking at one certain team down here, and they've got a friggin' it looks like Eldon Trailer said, like the Die-Guard team from 1978. Buddy Parrott. I mean, everybody on the whole damn team is got cup. I got people been in snowball derbies and just all sorts of stuff for a late model car. And it's just a little much.
Neil Meredith, who won the season opener at Greenville Pickens, makes a great point. He ran that race and won. Said he lost $50 that night. Said he ran third and lost. He ran third this past weekend and lost $500. He said that's the late model stock's big problem.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
I don't either.
Lloyd Garner chiming in said that at the Rattler you had to buy 40 gallons of gas.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At $10 a gallon.
Yeah, it's insane.
Probably.
Greg Marlowe says infields can't pay everything. 100% correct. Preston McGee says big, easy horsepower and a hard-ass tire. I mean, that is definitely one direction in which you can go.
Yeah, I agree. I talked to a couple people about it. I mean, I think the motor thing's got to the point where I almost get to the point where I don't like the cheap thing. I mean, the 602 thing, I don't really want to run a 602, but I almost get to the point where you can make a lot of horsepower pretty cheap if the rules are open. I can probably make 700-800 horsepower for nothing. I mean, relatively speaking, I'm not saying you can go out and go to the junker and make 700 horsepower. Yeah, if you have 700 horsepower, it doesn't matter. That's too much horsepower at that point. So why don't you get to that point and just make 700 horsepower, tell everybody to go have fun, have chassis rules, do whatever you want in motor.
At Wake County Speedway years ago, it used to be the super late model rules. I'm pretty sure the rule book, it just said motor rules and it had the word none.
Yeah,
because it don't make a damn, because I'll beat you with 300 horsepower.
That's kind of how Southside's rules are, and really? That works. It works there. It built their late models back up, but Motor Mile does that Super Street division, which is basically just another late model, and it really hasn't worked because of the layout of the racetrack. So we kind of have that, going against us is the layout. The Motor Miles and the Southern Nationals and the Myrtle Beach, that's not going to work.
I don't know. I hadn't seen enough of the Super Streets to really know much about it because they only ran them about a year.
Yeah, 1 year.
So it wasn't.
But the guy dominating.
Yeah. Certain racetracks, it's going to be a problem. Don't get me wrong. If you go to Motor Mile, 800 horsepower is going to be better than 300 horsepower.
So do you guys think that the 14-year-old boy from David Gillen Racing winning the race was good for the sport or bad?
Neither.
I think it's just middle of the road, yeah. I mean, I don't think the average fan or
anything. What do you mean?
Well, Thomas thinks it's bad.
Well, no.
Thomas thinks it's bad. Why do you think it's bad, Thomas?
Because who's Taylor Gray to me? Like, I was a fan. Who was he? I don't know who he was.
Oh, I'm sure there's no fans that knew who he was.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was until I got there.
I mean, I knew who he was because I've seen him race.
Wait a minute. Isn't that part of making fans, though? I mean, like winning races?
That's what I was talking about.
Well,
if the kid's going to race 2 or 3 more years, but that's not going to happen.
But you're saying you don't care to come watch him.
I do not care to come watch Taylor Gray.
Yeah, but I think that's weird, right? Like,
who does? I mean, that. But I'm not throwing down him. It's not him.
No, it's nothing to do with him.
Wasn't this what it was about,
somebody's
though?
Name.
Right? Like, wasn't it about going and saying, let's take Doc, right? He left for a while. Not Doug. He stepped away from the sport for a little bit for personal reasons. But he remembers watching Matt Benedetto. That's his deal, right? Him and Matt McCall, because those were the guys that were drilling it then. And part of the joy was watching those younger people at the racetrack when they did make it to somewhere, or watching them on their journey that early. I find it kind of different now, right? Yeah. It's like the roles have reversed because everybody wants to bitch that the kid has money, but the money didn't drive the car because he still won the race on his own. So I'm really confused.
I don't think there wasn't the influx of money. There's always been kids bringing money to the store.
Right,
but back 10 years ago, it's not like it is now.
Right, but why are we not making this 14-year-old kid that just won the Cars2 race? Why are we not like, holy big things just happened here?
He had to drive the car.
There's too many of them. There's too many of them because everybody you saw down there that is between the age of 14 and 16 down there, they're going to have an opportunity to drive nationwide at some point.
Right.
Like, it's not they could have ran dead last the other night, and they're probably going to run nationwide within 10 years if they got the money.
If they're bad, and they sort of are, but if they're bad because nobody's ever going to know who they are. A lot of these kids come through, and even the people who see him at a track, they go, "Oh man, I remember seeing him," but I don't know anything about him. He has no person. I'm not talking about Taylor Gray here, but most of these guys have little to no personality. They sit in their trailers and they play with their phones.
And they this is another thing. Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
I would. This. I was sitting in the stands, and Corey, you did the same thing. So don't say anything here. When that red flag came out during the super race, everybody and their brother shot to the gate and were gone.
Yep.
Right.
Like I want to go down after the race and see people's race.
Well, no, that's because I hate super late models.
Well, that's beside the point. You could have still sat down there and talked.
I don't think it was coincident when the picture on the social media posted of something in the media center, some beverages. As soon as that showed, he was gone. He was out the track headed toward the tower.
Doc, I was halfway.
Yeah, he was already mostly home.
I mean, there was a fan fest, so I understand. But it's totally different than the way it was when I was a kid. because you never had. I don't
It ain't
ever
gonna
remember
be that
going.
way, I
It's
don't
never
think.
going to be
No.
that way.
No.
But I just don't understand. I mean, I understand why, because they're getting paid. They're getting paid by the hour. They want to get home as soon as possible. But like, I don't. That just looks really bad. That you're the people who do it don't even want to sit around and watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like everybody and their brother. I mean, I bet there was 100 people ran out that gate at that break.
Yeah,
And it
we've
used to be-
talked about that before. If I had a race team, if I said I'm old school, I would make you. You would watch the other races.
Yeah.
I would
Kind of
make
like
people do it.
you know,
I
Michael
mean, I
Falk
always-
was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
wants them there.
some places you can't do this, and most places with pay cash can do this.
Well, they should all be.
Yeah, they
paying
all.
cash.
Well, that's
I mean,
beside the
that's
point. I understand there was,
But most of them
there's-
aren't because they're losing so much money that they got to have a check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
They
the
gotta
thing is you
show
don't
the government
understand.
how much
You
they're
don't
missing.
understand how many people come to the racetrack and bounce a check.
Right.
So you can't be giving him a cash advance on something he didn't pay you.
Yeah, but the thing about that
So-
is you can always
Yeah,
like
I
when
mean-
I went to Ace, you know, I took a check.
Yeah.
You were getting a check.
Yeah.
But if you paid cash, you were getting cash.
I
that
mean,
night.
I always I wish you could walk around at the end of the night and say, if I can see your race car, I'll give you cash. If not, 10%.
Yeah,
off.
that's what the first night Brad Allen was there. I said, "Man, how you think this night's gonna go?" He said, "Dude, I got $333 in my pocket." he said, "I hope some people show up at this damn thing."
Right. Been
But
there.
It
Been
did. It happened.
Greg Marlowe says there's no dream anymore. There's
you
no dream for a
Right.
guy who doesn't have any money to make it.
I mean,
somewhere.
I know people who in the 90s they just wanted to buy a late model car and they thought they were going to run Cup.
Yeah, but there could be a dream. Bola Mastis is living his dream.
He was
What's up?
rich before
you
he
didn't see
started
that
driving.
coming, did you? You didn't see that coming. Think about that.
Yeah, but
right?
he had money
Yeah,
before
but
he
so
started
what? He
in
went
the
and
racing.
made right. But
I mean-
he went and made a bunch of money. Or
Yeah.
his family did.
Sure.
And then his dream was to race. So I don't know this for a fact. I'm just guessing. But then he decided, you know what? Hey, let's race.
Yeah.
So he achieved the making them. I mean,
Yeah, but we're
there's-
going for the other end for somebody
Yeah.
with like just talent's
Yeah.
not going to make it anymore.
Well, no, I don't think that's. I mean, it's one of those things that
talent alone never made it.
Even if you're a
Talent alone never made it.
I mean,
All
even
them
if
guys had
it's-
charisma.
So even if
They
it's
had
a
some-
bunch of rich kids, regardless, I mean, enjoy the don't get in the freaking car and leave before the race is over.
Right.
Go out, go walk through the stands or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Nobody has their things. Nobody has their cowboy hats, or
Yeah,
that guy
right.
has his thing that
Well,
he does that he's badass
yeah.
for, or
Like
you know
I
what
said
mean?
on Facebook, we need more of Zach Bruner with
Yes.
dudes waving a Dale Earnhardt flag
Right.
up there, raising hell in the stands.
Speaking of Zach Bruninger, he said that they need to go back to 21 years old to race in Cup, Xfinity, and trucks.
I
It'll help
agree.
the short tracks tremendously
It would.
because the rich kids will have to be at Hickory
Oh
or
my
other
God.
tracks for
And I
several
think-
Could
years.
you
Point.
imagine?
And those same people, you'll see them still
Could you
race.
imagine if you trapped them
Yeah.
there for 4 or 5 years?
Preston McGee said that talking about the teams leaving under the red flag. He said it's because they're all paid. They're all
Yeah.
there for the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They're
it's
not
a loss
there.
an hour.
Some of
pay.
them are, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are just
Corey
there for the money.
was
and they're-
not.
and they're not. Man,
But I think that's okay too,
I had
right?
Budweiser up there for you. It was only last year's
Yeah,
There
Budweiser.
was actual beer at Hickory.
in the media center. Okay.
Dude, they had the old
Didn't you see my
Budweiser label
picture?
with the
Yeah, I
old pop
did,
top
but
on
I
them.
thought there's no way.
Pull
Kevin
tab.
didn't
Yeah,
know that
pull
was there.
tab on them.
I asked
brought it in.
Kevin about it, and he said he forgot to take them out of there. So I don't know
Yeah,
if he goes up and hangs out and has
that
a
was-
beer or
There ain't
what.
no way.
was-
There ain't no way Kevin Piercy's drinking a beer.
That was
Yeah.
a former maintenance man.
Kyle Manch said that you race against the team more than the drivers now, even though when a car wins,
agree.
the driver has to
That's a
get the
pretty good
job
little
done.
comment there.
I would
Just
agree.
wouldn't have most likely without that big team behind them. 100%. I mean, if Darren Cochran says if talent was a thing, Mike Looney would be in Cup. Absolutely, 100%. Mike Looney, Kelly
Yeah.
Kingery.
I mean, there's a lot of
Kelly Kingler.
Lee Poole,
Come
yeah.
on,
I mean,
Kelly Kingler.
You know,
yeah.
I've always said the two people, Brandon Ward and Matt McCall's the two people that should have made it
Yeah.
that never did. That was the most perfect
Brandon
marketing.
Ward is
Matt
one of
McCall
the
kinda
only
did.
drivers that has won at every level in short track racing. The Pro Cup stuff, whatever it was
Yeah.
called in.
Hooters Pro Cup.
The modified on the biggest stage, when it was big.
Yeah.
Late models, he's won championships.
UARA
Goodies
champion.
Dash, UARA. He did it on talent on every step of the way.
Yep.
And
And that's another thing.
had
like,
that
who-
stopping block when it came to the higher levels.
This is another question. Is there? I mean, there's going to be one or two. Don't get me wrong, and you're going to make me look stupid here. But who
Won't be the first time.
Yeah, it's not this.
Not
In
even
the
tonight.
last hour.
Yeah. So who out there? What I mean, when I was younger, there was teams out there that had drivers. It was some rich man who owned a business,
and there was
a
lot of
driver,
them,
and a driver.
Yeah.
Now it's, hey man, can you? How much money you got? You got 20 grand? You can come around my car.
Bob McCarty.
Right. There are exceptions.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
Very, very few.
Yeah.
How many more can you name?
Yeah.
All right, about done with
I
that
can
one.
name a couple, but I don't think they'd want to be named.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all out there. Don't get me wrong. I know
secret,
there's some
you know what I
out there.
mean? Like people that are paying the bill behind, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and plus, but they're still.
Yeah.
They
but
pay
there's
some
so
bills.
very few.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
for sure.
When I was
And
little,
you know
that
what's
was
the bad
everybody.
part?
Yes.
The bad part to me for those people, and I have this discussion with them, and I can't figure it out. Really, to be honest, is I wish that people knew that they did what they did.
Yeah.
Because they're doing so much good for the sport.
Yeah, they're doing
and people
great things.
think, and there's a lot of people that secretly own cars behind the scenes that don't want people to know that, you know, they pick up this and they pick up, hey, I'll get that body this week to take them up there and get, you know, so, but they don't want anybody to know. In the old days, you were a guy that took pride in owning it.
Yeah.
And, hey, that was
This is
my
my
car
pride
and
and
this
joy
was
right
my
here.
group. And it seems like it's the opposite now. People are afraid they're going to get used up
Well,
for more or hit up by
Sure.
everybody instead of just the people that they're helping.
Everybody, I mean, I would think, because most of these people are businessmen. Most of these people are businessmen. So when you see somebody, you're letting somebody drive your car for free and probably making nothing, probably losing money, and you see somebody over there that's renting his car and he's making thousands a week, why would you let this guy do it for free anymore?
Right.
Because you loved it.
Well, you did, but
unless the guy driving your car is winning races and
but here's
bringing
the
in
thing,
sponsorship
man.
and
yeah, but there's still some
working on
guys.
cars.
I'm sure
There
there's
is.
people that would be happy to buy Bobby McCarty's ride.
And there's
yeah, I'm sure.
I think that one of the reasons that we don't have a lot of owners is because it's not fun.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like a good example is Larry Dunn, Corey Dunn, who will be racing in limiteds this year. His dad used to own cars that raced at Motor Mile, and he just can't afford to do it that way anymore. I mean, it goes back to that cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that barrier to entry is the same as for the owner as it's going to be for a driver that owns his own stuff.
I just mean I watch a lot of people spend a lot of money on stupid things. It's kind of a test that I do, right? Like that's my life. I make money off of watching people spend money, and I don't. I'm not as focused on racing. I'm other things I do also. eBay, sure, horses, whatever, right? Like I'm intrigued about how somebody will pay all this extra money to own a horse that they can do nothing with, but they enjoy it because they enjoy the experience of going and having dinner and watching the horse race or yelling at the racetrack. It's 2 minutes, right? And they pay $80, $100. These people pay unbelievable amounts of money for this, But they, when I ask them why they do it, or when I look inside of why I do it, it's because I enjoy it. And I don't think there's many people that enjoy
the enjoyment, the fun
anymore,
factor.
right?
I mean, there's a few owners. Bob Unser, he enjoys the hell out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He loves, but he's few and far between.
Right, but how many drivers treat the owners to let them enjoy it? You know what I mean? That's like, I think that happens too, right? Like, I think everybody gets so frustrated that the driver, he's working hard as he can. He's trying to compete with a guy that wants to do it for fun, so he's not going to spend $1.5 million. He's going to spend $80,000. So the driver or the one crew guy gets completely dumped upon to try to solve deltas that he doesn't know what they are.
Oh yeah, and you get to the point where even if that guy he enjoyed it, whatever, he's probably not enjoying it as much when he was winning races. Now he's running 8th.
Right. Sure.
And now he's like, well.
I mean, you got to have a love for it. Hey, there's something refreshing. 64-year-old Barry Begley just built him a brand new car. Had it tested the other day.
Is he running Ace?
I don't know. He just runs when he wants to. But it's just funny. He walks outside and says, "There's some metal." I mean, no, this is what happened. I mean, and Barry will tell you so. There's some metal.
I want to record him coming out and be like, "There's some metal. Let's do
that would be a great.
That would be a
Gary
great
V
show.
style video.
Yeah.
For sure.
And just builds a race car, you know.
A question James Randolph asking on here, and I think it's a really good question. He said, "Is Carteret doing something different?" It said, "I feel like they have the fans and car counts." Steve Murray chimed in to him, said, "The atmosphere, food, and beer in every turn."
Yeah.
Carteret's just a different place.
There's nothing there. There's not a whole lot to do there.
So I mean, when I went last year one time, and I saw signs for that race an hour before I got there.
Yeah.
Like there ain't signs at any race.
Well, they've actually went out into the community there. Other than like Myrtle Beach is a I mean, don't get me Carteret's a tourist destination, but it's just
not
houses.
like Myrtle Beach.
No, Myrtle Beach is big, flashy, fancy, million things to do. Carteret, you either go to the beach or you go to the racetrack. That's about it.
Right.
Go out to eat somewhere. So, you know, they've got a great local fan base there, and the fans enjoy coming out. And it's a nice place.
Yeah,
it's a nice place
beautiful
to go.
place.
Right.
There's nothing, but it's still one of those things that a full house at Carteret's not a full house at South Boston.
The grandstands there are tremendously smaller.
Yeah, they're
but it's still
four rows deep.
But if they're making money, that's all that you can ask for.
Right,
not.
right. And you know, Bobby Watson, you know, that was his dream.
Yeah.
You know, of course, he passed away last year.
And the drivers and people love being there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they treat
there's
them
nothing
great.
not to love.
This is
I mean, Corey, I don't know how he remembers even being there.
So
Because the bar in there made a little bit of money. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know.
That's why they're there.
They only serve beer.
That's why they're there.
Right.
Well,
Well, they did have some moonshine, and I think they got
but
caught
it was
on
that
one.
crappy. It was.
No, they were selling some real stuff at some point.
So I
Well,
just
good.
trust me.
Good.
Okay.
I'm glad they were. That's
But
what
it
we
was
need,
like
that kind
it
of
was
street
like
outlaw
lap
stuff.
30. I looked out the window. I said, "Damn, there's race cars here too."
It's great. The place is awesome.
Okay, well, real quick, I want to tell you. I mean, so
Whoa, take over the show.
Ain't nothing he says
man.
real quick.
Okay, so
And he ain't even been drinking.
I know, man. It's So, Bobby, I mean, he was a heck of a promoter.
Absolutely.
Because I was in Kingsport, Tennessee, and he came up to me and asked me if I was going to go to his racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't imagine how far a drive that is for him. And I saw him 2 or 3 racetracks. Hey, man, I got this flyer, man. You come to our racetrack, I'll try to help you out all I can.
Right.
I'd like to see you.
You know, I saw him around everywhere.
Yeah,
he
he
was
a lot of
everywhere.
races when he wasn't
when he wasn't racing. Yeah.
Yep.
He was out working it. You know.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
what
a
you
good
got to
job.
do.
And I mean, it was his dream, and that's what he liked to do. So.
There you go. There's one thing. His track's got cars and fans because he was doing something that other people aren't doing. You know.
And I mean, can everybody do that? Probably not. But I mean, they should try.
You're
anyway.
gonna have to.
I mean,
He proved that you still can.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I had counting him. I had 4 promoters come talk to me last year. Said, "Hey, man, I'd like you to come to my racetrack." Through social media, called me on the phone.
Who were those 4 promoters? Bobby,
Turner,
Jason.
I can't remember. Bill Mullis, and somebody from Myrtle Beach.
4 tracks that have pretty good car counts.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fans.
Interesting.
And they all said, "What can I do to get you to come here?"
Right.
And
you said
I only
what?
went to 2 of those places, but I mean that means a lot. I mean, even if I don't show up, I mean it gives
means
me
a lot
it
that
gives,
they reached out to
Yeah,
you.
it gives me a thought. Hey man, I'm off this week. Let's think about going there.
Yeah, I've said it.
I
forever
mean,
that
I might not come to your racetrack this week, but it makes me think in the
Did they
future.
offer you things like NCAA violations?
Well, we can't talk about that because I'm planning on playing football next year.
I know. I'm just.
But-
wondering.
He's got 2 years eligibility.
I mean, people want to know.
I
Did they
mean-
offer you things to come there, or was it just, hey, what's up?
There were some that said, "Hey, I will." I mean,
You
they
don't
all
have to tell
offered-
who's who.
Yeah,
Like,
they
I'm
all
not
offered
asking
me.
you-
They all offered me something. They were like, it might have been like, "Hey, man, I can get you a deal at the hotel down the road.
Nice, yeah.
I'll give you a set of tires, or like
Whoa,
I'll give you one
set of
tire,
tires.
not
Whoa.
a set of tires.
That's a
maybe
pretty
like
good one.
One
A tire.
a tire.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't
Interesting.
remember them all, but they
Money
all
to
said
drive
something.
or something,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I'll help you out. I'll give you
Neat.
some gas money, something like that.
That's great.
The,
I think that's
the,
great.
The old school days of saying, "I've got a racetrack. Here's
Yeah.
the doors open. You know, people come." No, you've got to go make
And
people want to be
That
there.
ended
so.
quite a long time ago.
Yeah, it did.
But
But there's some that still kind of try to run it like that.
Yeah.
They're attempting to.
Every once in a
It's
while.
not working out really well.
I mean, like I said,
Well-
I mean, those places. I mean, just the thought of them saying, "Hey," just even if they wouldn't offer me anything, if they just said, "Hey, man, this
Just
is
reaching out.
Yeah, they didn't say, "Hey," they didn't
Sliding into
they,
that
They
DM.
actually came. Yeah, they actually had something like they're like, "Hey, this is why you should come to my racetrack." Not "Hey, man,
exactly.
I'm racing this week. Will you show up?" They're like, "Hey, man, this is why I'm better than these other places."
In the last 6-7 years, I've noticed that every racer that's told me, you know, that cost is everything or whatever, but the tracks that they're feel wanted at, where the guy comes up and shakes your hand going through the gate and everything, that means more to them than anything.
People will find a way.
That's true. Yeah.
I will tell you this. That's the
That's
one
true.
thing that I've learned through this place. I've seen in the last 11 years.
How long does this show last?
I've seen people come in
Well,
here
not
that had
much
no
longer.
money, but they still found a way to get to the racetrack because they wanted to go for a person. You know what I mean? Hey,
Right.
these people are good to us. We're going to figure out how.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll come up with it. They'll figure out a way to find the money, even if they don't have it, if they like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they like what's happening.
Zach Roenger coming to Franklin County is a great example.
Right.
Corey Hedrick used to go to Ace all the time, and he went there just to support them because they
he
they supported him back.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. I agree totally. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, and those four promoters they've are quite a bit more successful than some of the others that didn't hit you up to come to their racetrack. So that says a lot. I mean, and I think these guys going out to other places is a good idea. I mean,
You've got to, and it doesn't take. I mean, all it takes is a phone call. I mean, it's not a lot of work,
Right.
That's the poll for next week. The poll for next week is how many racers in the chat actually have been contacted by a racetrack to come see them.
All of them have been contacted by somebody.
By somebody, yeah, they have.
I don't know.
I bet you not.
I mean,
I bet you not.
I didn't really ever get one till last year.
I bet you not.
I mean,
that's because you were a nobody.
I know exactly.
Yeah, but that's who you need.
But
is
yeah,
the nobody.
you've got to have that field filler. Like
I bet you the numbers are smaller on this than we think.
Right.
Like, what about that guy who hadn't raced in 5 years that's got his car in the back of his shop just collecting dust? Why don't you call that guy and say, hey, man, I know you hadn't raced in a while.
Right,
I'll let you come practice all week if you want to. Just come over here. Have fun. Right. You don't have to – I won't make you buy tires. I agree. You just try to figure it out. You just have a good time.
Right.
I agree. The hard part is knowing who them guys are. They still got a car. I mean, it's just,
right. That's figuring out who has a car.
Who you're supposed to call.
That'd be
ask everybody on Facebook. Just find them on Facebook.
Right. Sure. Facebook is the answer. That's what we discovered tonight.
I thought that's what I got on this show every week.
Wow.
I just like we're seeing people step up their social media game. And
I'm working on it.
Hey, we're
junk talk.
We're making a dent here. I mean, he's the junk talker here. Period.
Yeah.
He can talk smack with the best of them.
Squirrel.
Especially when the especially when the microphones are off. He's really good. Preston McGee chiming in said he came to Franklin County just because he told me he would. Charles Smith said that Zero have reached out to him. Just a bunch of people,
I mean, I think last year I went to 10 different racetracks. Like I kind of got to the point where people could see me at other places, so they knew to contact me.
That was branding.
That's
branding.
Right. We had that limited race at Tri-County a few years ago, and they wanted me to help them out get some cars. They'd had 2 or 3 races. They had 12, 13 cars. So I just got on the phone and just started calling people. Calling people. We get there, we have 27 cars. I mean, for racing for $1,000.
And I mean, you're gonna have. I mean, I always hear the argument from some people that, well, you're not gonna get cars. I mean, it just looks. They're just not gonna get cars every week because of that. Because it's different doing one show than every week deal, but it's worth the effort, I think, because you're so low on cars. It's not like you're going from 28 to 27. You're going from 10 to 6.
Right. Yeah.
So if you can any car you can get is a big profit in your number.
Well, it's like when Layla lived in Franklin County, people ask me all the time, say, well, I got this car, it's not rules, bring the damn thing.
Yeah,
bring it up there. We'll find a way you can race. If you got a race car, come race.
And I promise you're not going to just run away from
Piercy
the field and race.
That too, you got to give Piercy. He says that. He'll throw some lead on somebody.
I forgot about this just quick.
Oh, jeez. Here we go again.
Another quick one.
Another one.
Hijacked the whole show.
Just to this one.
You know I live an hour from here, right?
I live an hour or two. Calm down. So I don't know if you know Jitterstown or whatever. I don't know what they race up there, but that guy contacts me every 3 weeks. He's like, hey, man, you going to come run this race with us?
You should go run that race, the Masters something. I can't remember what it's called.
We should go up there.
It's going to be a big race.
Okay,
really
PRW.
Let's do it.
Hey, PRW Chassis is sponsoring, right? Corey's buying you a set of tires, and PRW is paying for the rest of it. So.
I like it. I got the PRW
What just happened?
I'm supporting the brand.
His agent just got him a deal here.
I'm supporting the brand, Roger. I have your decal on.
I know. I appreciate that.
Like 3 of them, actually.
I have a sweatshirt.
I think I gave you a shirt.
You did give me a sweatshirt. Sweatshirt and T-shirt.
I'm catching a hard time over that, this whole T-shirt deal.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, fire. Because I will not. The only way to get a T-shirt, you either pay for it or you send us an artifact that's going to go in our new studio that we're going to build.
I'm wearing a damn artifact.
I know.
That's
why you got it.
artifact.
I want like T-shirts, your own T-shirts, stuff like that, sent to the shop, and I'll give you one. But they're not just. You either gotta come here. That's the only way we're getting them. We're not shipping them. We're not doing. Bring us a T-shirt of yours so we can hang it up. I want to frame them all for the new studio.
When we starting on this new studio?
Well, if we could get it to where we didn't have 12 cars in here. We started. Look, we got the body panels moved over here. I figure
it's not gonna
4 to
happen.
6 weeks.
Basically, people are going to continue to tear up cars, and it's never going to happen.
No, I think it will.
It'll be okay. You'll get it here in a while.
Yeah, last summer, same thing, right? I mean, this thing cycles pretty much the same every year. I mean, we do get a few crashes, or sometimes we have a rainy spring. But if you look back over my numbers, they almost overlay year to year to year, just how it goes. You know, and then we're jam up now. We'll be jam up for the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. We'll get into decent racing season. Everybody will start thinking, oh, I'm spending quite a bit of money, so I'm going to just tape the fender up instead of buy a new one.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So I just need to get through this little deal, and then we're going to go at it.
All right, we're starting to wrap this thing up.
Let's do
it.
So here's the golden question,
geez.
especially for you two.
Oh,
Okay?
listen.
Well,
The traveling carpet rider over here.
There's races this weekend.
Is there?
So,
Yeah.
So where are you guys
race
headed?
this
Wait a
weekend?
minute. Okay, wait a minute. Where are you going this weekend?
I am going to Ace Friday and Tri-County Saturday.
Okay. Well, you're going to come pick me up, and I'm going to go to Tri-County.
Thinking about the chances of me picking up Corey. It's pretty slim. Where are you going, Roger?
I don't know.
So nowhere?
No,
He's going to see me at Hickory.
I don't know.
I mean, how many more times can you go to Hickory?
I don't know.
It's close.
I said that I would go to Ace. I need to go to Ace.
Are you going Friday?
I probably.
So no.
He got mad at me because I didn't buy my shirts from him, so I told him I would.
Well, see, Roger could pick me up on the way, and I go to Ace Friday, and then you pick me up. I ain't got to drive nowhere all weekend.
Well, have him drop you off here. You sleep on the floor. I'll pick you up from here.
They got Uber on that damn phone. You're buying Thomas $500 tires.
More than $500 for a set of tires. What the hell are you talking about?
You're buying the hotel rooms and stuff, though, so.
Right. Well, you got everything else. You got all the rest of the expenses taken care of. PRW, we're going to wrap the car at PRW, right? He's paying for the wrap.
We're going to put Roger's face on the front like Corey LaJoy's car was at Daytona.
Man, this is bad. No, I can't.
This show has cost you a lot of money.
No, I don't have any money, so it's not going to cost me anything.
Yep.
Got to fire up the eBay.
Yep, exactly. You're going to have to make some money. So
I think that Tri-County race should be pretty good, though.
Yeah, the Southeast Super Trucks kick off this weekend. They got the trucks, the Limiteds, the Legends cars. I don't know what else races.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. It's Tri-County, so it'll be awesome.
Any race at Tri-County is great.
Yeah,
so.
I love that place.
Of course, Thomas will be at Hickory.
And, I don't know. And Mike Smith want me to go to South Boston. They got the Wheeling modified Torians late models.
He is going nowhere.
So basically, anytime he heads toward that direction, the car breaks down. So
not
happening.
I don't think I'm going to go to Tri-County. I'd probably do Ace.
Okay. So we're expecting to see him nowhere this weekend.
No, Ace. I got lacrosse Saturday. I do Ace Friday.
Okay.
Cool with that. They got a beer section on the backstretch.
They do.
Pick me up on the way to Ace, and we'll go get kicked out of Applebee's and go to the race.
I can pick you up in the van.
Oh, the van.
Yeah, you don't get to ride in a BMW.
Yeah, last time I went to Ace was
I
in a
don't have
BMW.
a BMW.
So, yeah.
Yeah, now
I have a van.
He's got a creepy van.
He has the free candy van.
I'm broke, dude. That's all I could afford.
Yeah.
If we can get some more cars in here, we'll be all right. See, you're complaining about
pedo on wheels over here.
Dude, come on, it's cool.
What does your son say about it?
He says it's cool.
No, that's not what he says about it.
He says it's cool.
Oh man! All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap
Let's
this thing
stop
up
this
here.
madness.
And Thomas, we appreciate you coming on and guest hosting here.
Thomas, what are you doing this year? Where are you racing at? What you doing? Nobody knows. You ain't told nothing about nothing.
You
you're
had an
doing.
article about me.
Wow.
Did you not read it?
Huh?
Wow.
Not on the radio show. You haven't.
Wow.
Oh. Well, I'll be at Hickory every week, so come
Every
see
week. Because you got an extra $100.
Yeah,
every week because it's close.
Forward.
Okay. I just wanted to get that in there so people would know.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have him on here to actually be a guest one time. This time he just kind of showed up and didn't leave.
He wasn't a guest. He was the assistant
I'm a pesticide
co-host.
right now.
He actually what let me tell you the truth.
Well, I thought we just did this because we felt sorry for him.
Well, that too. But we kept him. We kept him here because we didn't know if your car was going to break down, so we weren't sure if you were coming.
Yeah.
So Troy got you under control now, though.
Yeah, he fixed it. It's all good. Great. Yeah.
Does Thomas look like a garbage pail kid?
Actually, he kind of does. My Lord.
Wow.
I just wondered. Like, look at him.
That's going to be a video clip.
Wow.
I love it. Look at him. It's awesome.
Got a face for radio.
I know. Me too.
Yeah, we got good video of you, though. So.
Wow.
That's going to scare the hell out of some people this week.
Garbage pail kid.
Got a bunch of video clips coming out. Kim's been working really, really hard on video, and man, I even had to put her to work this weekend. She had to be my photographer.
Listen, she's the only reason that company's still alive. Don't have to act that way.
You won't get an argument from me.
I know,
okay?
I understand.
I mean, she's selling everything and working on videos and shooting photos.
So people can call and yell at her instead of you.
That's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
I'm tired of arguing with people. So. But I guess we're going to get Doc. Wait, are you going anywhere this weekend?
I'll be working at Wake Forest Baptist Hospital this week. It's my work weekend.
Well, you got plenty of time to still make it to a race after that. What time you get off?
3 o'clock.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
Oh, come on,
Where are you going? Coming to Tri-County?
Nah, it's too far.
That is kind of far, but I'd love to.
Tri-County's awesome.
Uber. Tri-County is nice. I'm just waiting to see if the racetrack blows apart.
We done went ahead and turned your mic off.
It's
got rid of the garbage pail kid.
I know. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes. You can make it.
Garbage pail kid.
Yeah, but what time is it going to be done? I got to be up early.
Well, they got to be done pretty early.
Yeah, they
got a curfew.
Yeah, they have a
there.
curfew. Yeah.
No, they got that curfew still.
Curfew still.
If you need to, you can come stay at my house. I got a couch.
There you go.
I live like a half.
Does it have a weight
from
limit? I don't go over and break all your furniture.
Oh,
Wow.
hell. Wow.
I don't know. Redhead's probably come down, and she'd love to be at the racetrack. And all you got to do is ask her once, and she'll drag me out.
Yeah, take her to the racetrack.
So I'd love to. I
You
think that
got
would
two
be
good choices on either side of you, Ace and Tri-County. That's
Yeah,
two
I'd
really
really
good
like to
choices
go
this
to-
weekend. Hickory too. I mean,
of
for
course,
that
No
Hickory,
Greenville
but-
this weekend?
Yeah, Greenville runs this weekend too.
I might go down there.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not going to
It-
Greenville.
yeah,
Any
no.
more word of an extra broadcast
What do you
this
mean?
week?
No, I haven't.
not broadcasting
Gerald's
anything
on
else.
here. Gerald's on here, so maybe he'll help us figure that out. We haven't kind of squared that away yet. It's a 11 o'clock curfew at Tri-County. So.
Jeez.
No, they get it done.
Yeah, they
it
usually
should
get
be
that
done
done.
pretty
We
quick.
ain't never really had a problem with it.
I mean, with the way that place is, they're not going to deck off there. I can tell you that.
No, it rolls right along.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good show.
Anything at Tri-County is a good show.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't get credentials, so I'd
Oh
have to
my
pay to
God.
get
I don't
way
get.
in.
I have to pay too.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
See, it's the radio program. That's how that works.
You tell
I
me,
reckon.
you just pull up gate and tell me you give me a free puppy out of your van. There you go.
There's only candy
Hey,
distributed
little
out
girl,
of
will
my
have
van.
free candy.
Wow. All right.
Candy bar,
On
right?
that
by
one,
bar.
Corey
All right.
is out.
All right,
That's all I
Doc,
can afford, man.
Send us home, man.
Hello? I must be going.
Well, that'll wrap up this week's show. We want to thank you for listening to Race22 Radio. Be sure and keep us logged on to race22.com for all your favorite late model stock car racing action, videos, podcasts, and much, much more. We'll be back broadcasting live around the globe next Monday at 6 p.m. from right here at the Performance Center Racing Warehouse Studio in beautiful Statesville, North Carolina. Until then, we'll see you at the races.
Last day a week or two.
Race22 Radio is a presentation of Race22 Productions.
I must be